Hey, what's poppin'? What's crackin'? It's probably corn and it's probably kernels. Welcome to the Just Play It podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Captain Pop. I'm Jimmy Crack Corn. I'm a cinephile in the making, essentially, is what I'm trying to be. And if you smell what the Just Play It podcast is cooking, then you must be right next to that microwave because it smells like butter, salt, and the sweet stench of starch. And looking over my shoulder, making sure I'm pressing those buttons right, is my numero uno amigo, my co-op duo partner for life, my Wolverine to my Wade Wilson, my Batman to my Robin. It is the guy who is deep fried. He is live. He's coming at you. And he is Nick, the Corn Jerry Dog Justice. Welcome in, buddy.
Thank you, sir. I am so excited for this episode, James. As you know, this is that time of year. It's the end of the year where we get to look back at all of the things Captain Colonel and the deep fried glizzy have been able to get up to this year. All the movies, all the shenanigans, all the inside jokes that all the listeners, of course, are going to get. I'm just excited for all of it. This is going to be a hell of an episode.
This is a day on the calendar I've been looking forward to for a long time because, ladies and gentlemen, Colonels and Dogs, this is the 2024 Wrap Party Part 1, the pregame. So raise that glass, show me that whiskey, show me that beer. I got a margarita. You can't stop me.
I pregamed before the pod.
So we're going to hit you with a cheers, a salute, a kanpai. However, you say bottoms up, because we're here, and Nick is pulling out the decanter of brown stuff, and it's about to get wild. It's about to get wild up in here, guys.
I brought out my fancy stuff for this episode, so the decanter came out.
This is a jam-packed episode, so we just got to get right to it. We're going to hit the ground running.
Let's get our hands dirty.
Folks, what's going to happen in this episode is we're going to do some reflections. We're going to give you some quizzes. We're going to quiz each other. We actually have a co-op quiz to tackle together. That's going to be fun. We're going to hit the bargain bin, and we are going to end this episode with our nominations for the best of the best and do some rankings for all of our mini pops. So this is going to be the major pops. We have a lot of work to do. Nick, let's just get started. Let's pop the corn. This is just open discussion, and I'm just going to hit you with some stats. Okay, Nick, so let's talk about the movies we watched this year. Let's talk about the best ones. Nick, your highest rated movie this year was 2000's Memento. You gave that a 9.3. My highest rated movie from this year was actually Furiosa, and I gave that a 9.2. Combined, Just Play It's best movie of the year. It was 2000's Memento. On average, we gave it a 9.2. If you're good at math, then you can figure out my score for that one. How do you feel? How do you feel about those two? I think that's two strong ones.
I feel great about those. Yeah, I feel great. Don't regret either of those. We're going to go into the bargain bin later. And I might have something to say about my Furiosa score. But
it might change. Stuff might change. Who knows?
Stuff might change. But as of right now, yeah, I feel great about those two movies. I hope you do too.
I feel amazing. I can't wait to hit the bargain bin with you and get into possible re-rankings because we like to take the foot off the pedal when we're hot off the movie theater seat, and maybe we're super high on how great it was, or maybe we're super low of how pissed off we are. So it's
sometimes things have to marinate. Sometimes things got to marinate a little.
Sometimes, but I think those are some great movies. We also watched a lot of really bad movies this year. Nick, can I just say something?
Please.
So our year one average score was 5.5375, blah, 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 blah. Do you think we enjoyed year two better or worse?
Oh man, it might be recency bias because we went through a month of just stinkers. I might say even with the Mementos and the Furiosas and a couple strong ones coming on late, like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think we're average lower. That would be my guess.
So our year two average was actually 5.66, 52, 72, 72, 72, 72.
Repeating, of course.
Leroy Jenkins, we are actually 0.127 better than year one. We did start out super strong this year, and we were very optimistic, and then we just kind of crash landed. With those 9s that we handed out, with the Mementos and the Furiosas, and our average is 5, we hit some 0s, and we hit some low 1s. I think 5 is a good place to be for a movie review podcast. I don't think you want to be high. I don't think you always want to be low. I think 5 is where you're supposed to be.
Well, it definitely tells me that we're doing what we set out to do, right? We're going to watch some really good movies and we're going to watch some really bad movies intentionally. Yeah. That's part of why we're doing this. And so, like you said, it's telling me that we are sticking to what we said. We could easily just go pick all the well-known good movies and watch good movies every week. But instead, we pick movies like our lowest rated movie this year. So, James, let's look at that movie.
Oh, no.
Because it's no surprise what it is. So we had the same lowest rated movie, and which makes it the Just Play It's worst rated movie collectively, which is Leonard Part 6. James, you gave it a 0.8. I gave it a flat out 0. It's the second 0 I've given out on this podcast. And that gives it a cumulative score of 0.4. That's the average of our 2. James, that movie, I still think about how bad it is.
And that was our 40/40 offender of the year. If you're unfamiliar with what that is, it means the average critic scores across our 5 media outlets, IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, fans, and critic scores. 5 of those scores averaged out. It goes below a 40% favorable rating. And also its box office made less than 40% of its budget. So that was the worst of the worst, and it proved its heavyweight champion shittiness of the world to us because it was really, really bad. And it wasn't even like enjoyably bad. It was just the people who made it didn't even like it. The people who made it didn't even like it. They wanted to hide it. Bill Cosby went on an anti-press tour and said, please don't go to theaters and watch this movie. I'm embarrassed.
That's a really good point, because we've watched some bad movies where it was so bad it was good. It was at least laughable. Some cheesy 80s movies. I mean, we most recently watched Jack Frost, which at least was so bad it was funny. Leonard was trying to be funny and was so bad it wasn't funny. There's nothing worse than, okay, you're making a comedy. You're trying to make people laugh. You're so bad you're not making people laugh, and people can't even laugh at how bad it is. That's just the triple threat of shit. And that's where that one lives.
That's the lowest of the low right there.
It doesn't help the score, given what the last 7 years have brought about for Mr. Bill Cosby. So it made it a lot easier to go ahead and slap that one with a 0.
Yeah, we're not shocked. We did have some stinkers in this year, but that one, as soon as we watched it, we knew it was toast. So that's going to go down
something special in
the Just Play It legacy as a bottom of the bottom. Maximum Overdrive is still our all-time low of a 0.25 on average. Tough to beat. Apparently, I'm waiting for something really horrible to hand out my first 0. I gave it a 0.8 because of the Bill Cosby hot dog gif and the guy's head exploding and the frog eat. I thought those were the 3 chuckles I got.
Froggy was good. The Gypsy also made me laugh a little bit. The Gypsy gave me 1 chuckle, but it wasn't enough to save it. I'll tell you what, James. Once you give out that first 0, it's like a weight being lifted off your shoulder, and you break the seal, and you're just wanting to give everything a 0. You just become a pure pessimist. It's fantastic. Highly recommend.
Nick, you're strong on both ends. I kind of ride the gray area, just like my gray shirt. And you would know I'm wearing a gray shirt because we are on YouTube, and you can catch us on YouTube at Just Play It Podcast. So hopefully you're watching this video podcast because we're going to have a lot of visuals in this episode. So make sure you tune in. If you're listening on audio, that's cool. I actually do like listening to our own podcast on dog walks and whatnot. So I do catch both because we desperately need the listens and views, but who's saying that? Okay.
Not me.
Nick, let's talk about some surprises. So I would love to hear about the sleeper hits and the shockingly disappointed experiences you watched with anticipated movies that were on our watch list. So can you hit me with your biggest shocker first?
Yeah, my biggest shocker, I think, this year. I did. It's not like this was a movie that was on my list that I wanted to watch, but once I saw it, I was excited to see it, and that would be Bullet. So, if you've listened to this podcast for a while, it's no secret I'm a big Mickey Rourke fan, especially younger Mickey Rourke. Angel Heart was one of my highest rated movies from season 1 of this podcast, and just always appreciated his work and think he's a great actor. He was in this with Tupac, and I said, dude, Bullet, this is going to be really good. And it ended up being awful. Pretty darn bad. Pretty darn bad. Go back, listen to the episode. There's not a lot of good things to say about Bullet. It's clunky. It's weird. The writing is bad. The premise is bad. All of that. So that was definitely a shocker for me.
Bullet was our second lowest rated movie of the year.
Deserve.
And it's also my shocker for the year. It is also my shocker.
Good.
It was shockingly bad, and it was much anticipated for all the reasons you said. I love 90s kind of gangster, thug,
gritty, street
gritty
level.
crime. Yeah, I love that stuff. So when I saw Pac on the cover and Mickey Rourke, who we loved in Angel Heart, I thought, this is going to be sick. And I said it on the Bullet podcast. I said, I thought it was going to be more of a buddy, not comedy, but just a buddy movie. I thought they were going to be partners, but they were actually antagonists, and Tupac wasn't even in the movie that much. So they used his face for the poster, and that pissed us off.
And his character was written so bad. I mean, his character was
horrible.
So non-compelling.
Yeah. Compared to his character in Juice, which is a movie we watched in year 1, night and day. It was really bad. It was shockingly bad, and it was the biggest disappointment of the year. But hopefully, Nick, something surprised you this year. Do you have a sleeper hit for the year 2024?
Yeah.
What hit you by surprise in a really good way that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, and this one might sound weird because I believe this was an Oscar-nominated movie, but it's a movie I had not watched. And I sort of avoided because I didn't really know what it was like. I was like, that doesn't look like it's up my alley. But that's Fatal Attraction. Fatal Attraction was never on my radar as far as movies, famous movies that you should see. Michael Douglas. I was like, he's fine. He's good. It felt like a critics movie. One of those movies like, oh yeah, Fatal Attraction. And you know me, I'm a contrarian. So at no point was I like, yes, I'm going along with the crowd and going to go watch this, but really good. Really good. I think we gave that an 8 as a movie, and very surprisingly well done. Great thriller, well made, great casting, all of the above. So yeah, I think Fatal Attraction for me was my sleeper pick.
I love that. I think that's a great answer. I have a different answer for my sleeper hit of 2024. It's going to be the horror movie It Follows. I was pleasantly surprised by that movie. I ended up really liking it. I thought it was a attention grabber. It definitely passed the phone test. Yeah, I was never looking down at my phone. I think the suspense in that movie was really good. The music that we talked about, Disaster Piece did the music for that. And it had its own lane carved out in the new wave of horror movies. And it was very unique, and it ended appropriately. I think it was a really good movie and very low budget independent movie. And it was surprisingly really, really enjoyable. And I thought really, really well done.
That actually makes sense now that you say it, because I remember during the episode you were talking about how that was always sort of on your radar, but it looked maybe a little too freaky.
I was like, I don't need to get scared.
You were sort of avoided it for a while, and then this podcast gave you a good reason to pick it up and watch it.
The coin flip gave us, that was our destiny. Nick, It Follows his heads. Nope his tails. I'm flipping it live on the recording.
Reveal.
Oh, it's heads.
What? It's heads. It Follows is going to be our podcast.
My God.
For next week.
Jesus Christ. I'm falling apart.
So yeah, no, I think it's a great pick. I think It Follows. I would consider that as a sleeper for me as well, as a guy who enjoys the horror genre, but never goes out of his way to watch one. It was good to sit down and watch a movie like that. And yeah, very unique. I like unique. Those are good. Now, James, let's talk about some movies that maybe we liked, but just could have done a little more for us. So what I'm talking about here is a redo. So I want you to think of a movie, or I want you to give me a movie where you think the premise was good, everything was there, but something I just wish was done different, and that could have given it a few more ticks on my scale. And then after that, I want you to think of a movie that you liked that really needed a sequel, but it never got one.
I'm going to give you my do-over first, and then I want to hear your do-over. And then we'll talk about potential sequels. But I think my redo of the year is going to be Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I think it needs to be completely overhauled because it was my least favorite Indiana Jones movie. And I would love if we got a snow Indiana Jones. We never saw Indiana Jones in the snow. We never got Snow Jones.
You don't like the
He's always in the desert, the jungle.
We got one snow, right? In Raiders, when he goes to see Marion for the first time, he's in the snow, but that's it.
Yeah, but not really.
But actually, we don't see it. We don't see it in snow. So
that setting, yeah, I think that takes place in Tibet or something. So I actually wrote down, I would love if it took place in the Himalayas, and maybe the Temple of Doom is an ice cave, and you got, Yetis in there, and it's basically Uncharted 2, if you know what I'm talking about. But I think you need to completely rewrite Willie Scott. She also needs to die in the ice cave, and you definitely need to keep Short Round.
That's really interesting. It's less of maybe a redo and more of saying, hey, take Temple out and put a better Indiana Jones sandwiched in between Raiders and Last Crusade.
It's a redo because I want to keep Short Round. I want to keep Indy, and I think they could still go after stones in a cave. I just think it needs to be actually good.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And slightly less racist in a few parts.
Just
a smidge. And
just a smidge.
Have it be directed by folks that aren't going through divorces and splitting up from their life partners. That might make it a little bit better.
That'd help.
Yeah. That'd help. How about you? What's a redo for you for 2024?
My redo is, again, I think similar, a very large overhaul, but Black Moon Rising. Black Moon Rising, great title. Cool concept as far as a cool car. But James, the plot holes in that movie, I went back this week and re-listened to a lot of our episodes in anticipation of this wrap party, and listening back through Black Moon Rising, it just stuck back out to me how poorly that movie was written, right? And how we never even saw this car be anything special. So I think if you go back, you could still keep, Tommy Lee Jones in there. You could keep the cast. You could keep the premise of him being an FBI agent, the car, espionage, car stealing ring, but just tie the damn storylines together a little bit. Make it focused on this car and not this tape with the Happy Lucky Corporation chasing you and random people. Like it was so convoluted.
Lucky Dollar Store, whatever it was.
Yeah. So I think if they redid that movie and actually made the focus the Black Moon, make the focus of Black Moon Rising the Black Moon, I think it could have been a cooler concept instead of the absolute mess that we got.
It also didn't live up to its title because we kept asking, what is the rising part? And I remember you made a joke of when we hit the part where it went in the freight elevator. And you said, maybe this is when it's rising. I just lost it because that's the only time it actually rises. If anything, it just falls with style through some skyscrapers, So
yeah, it still bothers me that the valet had the keys to the Black Moon at the beginning of the movie. That still makes zero sense to me. And I need an explanation. So things like that, those kind of plot holes need to go away.
I forgot about that. I forgot about the valet having the keys to that. That was on my list too, but I thought it was just not as interesting, I guess. It's like, do I need to see this movie? Not really. I would love to see a better
overhaul it. I'm saying overhaul it into almost a Fast and Furious style, kind of thing. All right, James, sequel. What movie did we watch this year that deserves a damn sequel?
A movie we watched this year that needs a sequel is definitely Buckaroo Banzai. Because we were promised We were promised super promised a sequel of Buckaroo Banzai against the World Crime League.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with you. That is my answer as well, especially because it was promised. It should have been there. It should have taken priority. I understand that it did not get the box office return it needed to warrant it, but damn it, I wanted a sequel. I would watch I would watch a franchise.
I'm glad I knew we were gonna have the same answer for the sequel. I had
such a good feeling that you were coming with me on that one.
Let's talk about some Cornspiracy here next. So this is conspiracy theories with a corn twist, because you are the corn dog and I'm Captain Popcorn over here. So Nick, let me hit you with some Cornspiracy I have. I don't have a whole drawn out crazy theory for anything, but I do have a couple that could possibly snowball into some crazy conspiracy theories. I'm going to start out with romancing the stone. So I think there may be connections with romancing the stone and My Brother the Pig. And if you don't know what My Brother the Pig is, it's a random movie we watched last year. Scarlett Johansson is a very young girl version. Scarlett Johansson, teenage girl.
A version of her.
A variant. And has a little brother, is a little dipshit. Her little brother actually went pretty far in our biggest piece of shit bracket that we did in the last rap party. I think he was top 4, maybe top 8. But George, he gets turned into a pig via some magic stones that Eva Mendes brings in. I think the character of Eduardo, he is the murdered brother-in-law in Romancing the Stone. The stone they were trying to romance was one of those animal shape-shifting stones. And he hid it in a Easter Bunny ceramic thing. So it was like super modern. It wasn't an ancient capsule or chest. It was in the ceramic Easter Bunny. So I'm thinking maybe the bunny has something to do with animal shape-shifting ties. It has ties to Christianity. Maybe he was trying to convert to Christianity versus whatever witchcraft, animal, mama juju stuff. And he didn't like what they were doing. So they killed him, went against the family business, and then got murked. And he was trying to warn what's-her-nuts, Joan Wilder, about the stone. And then it probably fell into Matilda's hands after that, because that would be from the 80s to the 90s.
Oh, okay. I can follow this. I can follow this thread here a little bit.
Let me hit you with another one. Cimarron, which is the best picture movie of the year on our best picture wheel that we watched from 1931, about the Oklahoma land rush. I think Cimarron and Indian in the Cupboard are in the same universe, because we have a character named Boone, who is from the Indian in the Cupboard, and he's from 1879. He's a cowboy. So who's to say he didn't run bank robberies with Yancey and the Kid back in the day? And I have a feeling that Yancey, being the big high horse asshole psycho that he is, probably gave Boone his nickname of Boohoo Boone for being a softie, because Yancey thought he was hot shit. So I think they share the same universe. And Boone got body snatched by Omri in the Indian in the Cupboard.
The boys called me Boohoo Boone.
That's interesting. That's real interesting. Okay. What if
maybe he told Yancey about what he saw, and then that's why he had big dreams of Manifest Destiny.
Yeah,
he's like, there's going to be a big child in the future, and he's going to have a cupboard. See,
what if Boohoo Boone was one of the guys in the church scene who skimped out on the collections?
Oh,
and that's why he doesn't. That's why he doesn't like the Indians.
Oh yeah. My God, I'm just remembering that movie. What an awful movie. Well, hey, Nick, speaking of Indians, I also have another Indian in the Cupboard conspiracy theory, Cornspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So by the end of that movie, Omri really wants to keep his body snatched Native American friend Little Bear in the modern times. So he swipes a figurine of an Indian woman from the school display case. He wants to gift Little Bear with a wife. So what if that actually ends up being his wife? I think his wife died in the movie, right?
Yeah. His wife was dead.
So maybe what if it body snatches from different time periods. So what if Omri body snatched his wife from before she died and then brought the figurine to life? Would Little Bear stay modern time if that was the only way to keep her alive?
Oh, maybe that needed to be a sequel then. So
that could have been a wanted sequel.
When your spirit dies, it transfers into the future and goes into a figurine.
Oh.
That'd be interesting.
So it doesn't body snatch. It's just, this is the afterlife.
It's like reincarnate. What a living hell of the afterlife.
Looking at Omri's big dumb face.
This is purgatory.
Oh, Lord.
You have to prove yourself to Omri, who is the gatekeeper of purgatory, to whether or not you get to pass on.
You're screwed. There's some webs to be spun there. And my last web to spin, Nick, we mentioned Bullet, how it was very underwhelming. It was shockingly bad. But I do have a conspiracy about Bullet. Bullet is super gay. Because he said...
I don't think that's a conspiracy.
So in the movie, if you didn't watch the movie, if you didn't listen to our podcast, shame on you. Bullet is a druggie. He went to jail for 8 years. And he actually has this really terrible conversation with his friend about how he suspects that he is homosexual because of things that don't make sense and his reasonings are not valid. But I think he's the one who's actually gay. I think he's projecting that onto his friend Lester because he's actually confused. And my theory comes from him not having busted a nut in 8 years in prison. So apparently it's because it was all men in there. But I think he just likes men because when he gets out of prison, he fails to perform with the only woman that wants to have sexual intercourse with him. Now, it definitely could have been all the heroin that he's done and his junk doesn't work. But I think he just wanted to bang his friend Lester. So my conspiracy is that Bullet's actually gay. And he wants Lester to be gay with him.
Hey, look, man, you're my best friend. I'm going to be straight up for you, all right? I'm going to be straight up and tell you as it is. Deep down inside, I think you're a latent homosexual.
Yeah, I don't think that's much of a conspiracy. I buy into that wholeheartedly. You don't have to spin that web for me, friend. Then you get into prison and you're like, this is fucking Candyland. And
this is awakening my identity. And like I said, that would have made a way better movie if they explored that or anything like that. But instead, it was just boring and awful.
Yeah. And remember what Bullet said. He said, you don't even have to suck dick if you want to be gay.
You're trying to say that I suck dick? Lester, you don't have to suck dick to be a queer.
He knows a lot about being gay, apparently. He's like, oh, let me tell you the rules about being gay. He's like, how do you know, Mr. Bullet?
He's making up his own rules there. But I think that's a perfect place to end Cornspiracy. So, Nick, let's get into some meat and potatoes now. Because
the good stuff.
We are about to enter some crazy territory here. Usually, we do a Cinematrix quiz on the weekly. However, for this time around, we're actually going to be doing a whole section of quizzes. No Cinematrix to be found here. This is going to be a co-op quiz. It's going to be head-to-head quizzes. We will have prizes for the head-to-head portion, but for right now, let's head into the quiz section, and we're going to start out with the co-op quiz. Lucky for us, we get to have some teamwork to start off the quiz portion. So what we have here is called the AI Logline quiz. Now, this stemmed from your genius idea from last year's episode.
I took your laughable log lines from these 10 movies and placed them into an AI image generator.
No way.
What you are going to have to do is tell me what movie the AI image generator is describing.
Oh my God. Okay.
A few moments later.
What is this? My quiz was hella easy. What the hell am I looking at? If you haven't listened to last year's episode, definitely invest in the 3.5 hours and listen. It is a hoot. But you gave me an ultimate surprise of a visual quiz. And this is definitely going to benefit from being on YouTube now because everybody can see what we're looking at and you'll see why we're laughing at it. Last year, you took my laughable log lines, inputted them into an AI generator, and it came up with the most fucked up images that you had me guess what movie it was, and it just made 0 sense. 0 sense. So that was a tough quiz. And that's why I think it takes two to make the thing go right. So my wife, bless her heart, she was nice enough to curate this quiz for us. So she actually randomized some movies, got the actual log lines from IMDb. I taught her how to use an AI generator. And Nick, we have 10 slides to go through. We need to guess what the 10 movies might be based on those prompts via an AI generator. And I think we can have separate guesses. So just like me, you gave me two guesses. So if I got it on the first try, I got 2 points. If I got on the second, I got 1. So I think we do. If one of us gets it, then we all win. How about that?
Yeah. And I will say, I think AI image generation has come a long way over the course of 1 year. So I have high hopes that the images might be a little more
user-friendly,
reflective of the actual log line than they were.
Well, we'll see here in a second.
Our first picture. All right.
Okay.
I already off the bat, I think I know what I got here.
This is Post Malone as a senior citizen.
Yeah, senior Post Malone doodling with some fucked up pencils. Man, AI just cannot do hands. I think this is 100% Memento. The tattoos, the writing notes.
Oh.
This has got to be Memento, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think this is Memento.
Let's check out that log line. Leonard Shelby, an insurance investigator, suffers from anterograde amnesia and uses notes and tattoos to hunt for the man he thinks killed his wife, which is the last thing he remembers. Memento.
This is from Memento. All right, that makes sense.
That's a pretty good AI image based on that.
Yeah, it beats that Flubber image from last year.
No, everything.
All right, let's hit up the next slide here. We're 2 points. We're 2 points.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Is that the Hulk meets
Ninja Turtles?
Ninja Turtles? Oh no. Wait. I have
Okay. All right. we went from a softball to appropriate territory. Okay, so we're looking at a green muscular guy. He has a vest on?
Yeah. So okay, again, AI cannot do hands. AI cannot do hands. Those are some messed up hands.
It's like 3-4 fingers. Let's think.
We didn't do anything with frogs. So my initial thought is going to sound really weird. My initial
Can we
thought
look at the
might
sheet?
Be...
Can we look at our list of movies?
No. I say no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm calling that on the fly. I don't want to.
Okay.
My first thought here, and hear me out, is Daredevil. Because this thing looks blind and it looks like a superhero. It has like the big goggles on. There's no eyeballs. So my initial thought here, because I can't think of anything with a frog or a reptile. Can you think of anything with a reptile?
Why is it green?
I don't know.
So the colors throw us off, because I remember last year it was throwing me off because like it'll just describe what it's what the prompt is, but that doesn't mean it looks anything like what the actor or character looks like. So I think you're 100% correct. I think this is Daredevil.
All right. Let's
hit that reveal.
Figure it out. A man blinded by toxic waste was also enhanced his remaining senses, fights crime as an acrobatic martial arts superhero. It is Daredevil. The toxic waste is what made it green. Okay, it's crazy. AI will pick up on that.
Yeah, let's take one word and just run with it. All right, Nick, let's move on to slide number 3. We are 2 for 2.
I mean, this has to be Buckaroo, right?
It looks very Buckaroo-esque. However, let's think about this. Could this be Black Moon Rising? Like a moon?
Oh, that is a moon in the background.
If Black Moon was in the log line, we have car thieves. We got an astronaut and aliens in the back. At first I thought maybe this is Star Wars, but this is like some hand painted anime.
Yeah, if it says the word moon, then I can see where it goes with.
I think it's going to get hung up on the word moon.
Yeah, and then the car. I think the car also.
Yeah, I think
it's like a sports car.
I think it visually represents Buckaroo the most, but I think the evidence on the page, I think this is Black Moon Rising. I'm going to lock it in.
That one guy's machine gun is massive.
he's just like one hand in it, basically.
Yeah.
All right, Nick.
All right.
Let me go ahead and read this log line. Oh, shit. Adventurer, brain surgeon, rock musician, Buckaroo Banzai, and his crime-fighting team. The Hong Kong Cavaliers must stop evil alien invaders from the 8th dimension who are planning to conquer Earth. And this, of course, is from The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension. Damn it! You were right!
I forgot how descriptive that log line is. That is a very descriptive log line. No wonder AI ran with it.
It's very verbatim. Damn it, dude. I felt good about that. I thought...
we're good.
Brush off the loss. Brush off the loss. Next slide. What do we got here? Oh, God.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so immediately I go to Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's exactly where this is spooky season. This is spooky season 1.
Yeah, this is scary.
It could be It Follows.
Second from the left.
Dude, AI and eyes and hands and like human features. It doesn't understand it.
Can't compute. Yeah, let's describe it. If you're listening to this, we're in some tight quarters wood cabin. We have some kind of Disney white gloved old style cartoon devil demons. They look like kids. 2 are blue, 2 are red, 2 are pinkish. One's getting a piggyback ride, I think. So immediately gut reaction is Evil Dead. Whether it's Evil Dead or 1 or 2.
I don't know if it matters. I think we give ourselves Evil Dead if it's Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Let's move to this one.
Let's move to the log line. I'll go ahead and read this puppy. 5 friends travel to a cabin in the woods where they unknowingly release flesh-possessing demons. And this is the Evil Dead. Nick, we nailed it. Stick to our gut, I guess. Don't overthink.
Yeah.
Don't overthink.
Right.
Next slide.
Next one. Oh my God. Legos.
Legos. This has got to be a Lego movie. Describing this, so we have 2 Lego figures. One is in a construction vest. There's like a thermos in front of him, maybe a pot of coffee. And then there's another Lego figure. That other Lego figure has a scar. And there's a fire. There's like a fireplace in the back and maybe like a fire truck in the back. Did we have anything with fire?
Not that I could think of. Is this something that Duel might spit out? What else did we watch?
This makes no sense.
Construction, fire truck, barbecue. Maybe that's a smoker pit or something.
Duel could work because there's 2 Lego figures. There is a truck in the back. Fire, chimney.
What about planes, trains, and automobiles? What about recently? We have 2 guys. There's really no planes or trains. I don't know. I'm trying to throw something out there. We also have the Indiana Jones.
I was going to say, I don't think it's any of the Indiana Jones. I don't think it's Electra. I don't think it's Leonard Part 6. I don't know what this is. So this might just be a stab in the dark here. That one Lego figure, even the AI couldn't even get that Lego figure's hands right. The one on the left, his left hand is just like a peg.
They don't like hands.
Not even Lego hands?
No.
Or that could be a clue. Maybe it's one-handed.
I'm gonna go Duel.
Evil Dead 2
here. You're gonna go Evil Dead 2?
Yeah. Let's just go.
Okay.
Nah, let's go Duel. Reveal. Show me that log line.
Oh Arnold rescued Thomas from a fire when he was a child. Thomas thinks of Arnold as a hero, while Arnold's son, hey Victor, resents his father's alcoholism, violence, and abandonment of his family. This is Smoke Signals.
I didn't know.
Oh, man.
Rescuing Thomas from the fire was that important to include in the log line.
I forget what half these log lines say. I think that's probably a big issue.
Yeah. So we're just trying to think about what the movie's about, but the log line is what's going to dictate this AI prompt.
Yep. All right.
All right. Next slide. Let's move on.
Oh.
Okay. This has to be an Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
This has to be. I don't know why there's
sweet 12. Lord, I hope it is.
But then that big thing in but then that big thing in the middle kind of looks like TikTok from Return to Oz, but mixed with Wreck-It Ralph.
What is big golden ball? What golden orb man? Trapped mongoloid. What the hell?
This could be Raiders.
Could be Raiders.
Because
is romancing the stone anywhere? Temple?
Okay, so
Brother,
this is 100% in Indiana Jones. Whether it's Crystal Skull, Dial of Destiny, Temple of Doom, Last Crusader, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that is the question. 1 in 5 chance, honestly.
I hate everything. That I feel so bad for that guy trapped in the big gold ball. Oh my god.
Is he their god or is he a prisoner that they found?
Both.
I'm gonna rule out Crystal Skull. I'm gonna say that this is either Raiders or Temple. Let's go Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm feeling
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I'm feeling Raidery. Let me go ahead and read what the hell prompted this. In 1936, archaeologists, plural, and adventurers of the U.S. government hired Indiana Jones to find the Ark of the Covenant before the Nazis could obtain its extraordinary powers. This is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Go us.
How?
So archaeologists
he looks like he's in so much pain.
And adventurers, that's what prompted like a million Indiana Joneses in front of
Why this guy?
I don't know why Wreck-It Ball Ralph is in this cave, but
I feel so bad for. He looks like he's in so much pain.
He's dead inside. He's suffering. He's got those dead eyes. Okay, Nick, let's move down to this. Okay, actually, I'm getting something right off the bat.
This is Cimarron, dude. This
has to be
Cimarron. This looks like a sad young Woody. This looks like the origin story of Woody.
Looks like a human Woody. Like it looks like a kid cosplaying as Woody in the Toy Story universe.
He's so sad. Look at the background, guys. Look at his hands.
They're so massive. They're so massive and hanging down so far. This Woody character looks like he just shit his pants and he's embarrassed and he doesn't want to be here handing you a paper. The reason we say Cimarron is because the words that are not English on the papers, I think, are trying to say Oklahoma. So we all know Oklahoma Land Rush. Also, Yancey got into the newspaper business. So this is 100% Cimarron.
Yeah.
Lock it in. Let's go.
And the logline is a newspaper editor settles in an Oklahoma boomtown with his reluctant wife at the end of the 19th century. James, this is Cimarron.
Easy GG. Okay. I think we're about halfway through here. Let's move on down to the next.
Oh, no.
I spit on my mic. Good thing. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is the Monsters Inc. filter.
There's like cars in the back. Yeah.
We got the Toy Story filter on the last one. This is Monsters Inc. This might be Black Moon Rising.
I think this is Black Moon Rising.
Unless there's anything else that we can think of that dealt with cars.
Oh no, I think this is Black Moon.
What is this guy?
He looks like he just wants to, like, he wants you to kill him. He wants to.
They messed up the hands because his thumbs are on the wrong side on his right hand.
Oh, he looks like he's in so much pain.
Everybody looks like there's some experiment gone wrong that is just trapped in some orb or circular prison.
Black Moon Rising. I'm into it.
I guess Black Moon Rising. We weren't right on Buckaroo Banzai. Let's go ahead and read this log line. I will read it. It is a thief named Quint is hired by the Justice Department to steal incriminating tapes from a corrupt corporation. The tapes vanish when Quint hides them in the back of a hydrodynamic powered racing car that is stolen by a hot car ring. And this is the log line for the movie Black Moon Rising. And I don't know
why is that Quint.
I guess that's Quint in in Monsters Inc. form.
I guess Quint's like an alien type name, so I don't know. Maybe not the worst thing in the world.
That's the worst thing in the world that I've ever seen, unless something crazy hits me.
All right.
Okay, more Legos.
Right.
All right.
More Legos immediately.
Looks piratey. Looks piratey.
This is Indian in the cupboard.
Yeah.
There's a cupboard in the back here that one Lego looks like he has like an Indian vest on. Their eyes are freaking me out. I don't like anything about it.
Oh no, don't zoom in. Don't zoom in.
And our log line for this is Omri, a young boy growing up in Brooklyn, receives an odd variety of presents for his birthday: a wooden cupboard from his older brother, a set of antique keys from his mother, and a plastic Indian from his best friend, Patrick. Indian in the cupboard.
Again, very descriptive.
Yeah, I forgot about how descriptive a lot of these log lines were.
Let's continue on here. Oh, God. I'm immediately getting Fatal Attraction vibes from this, cursed Betty Boop. What is this? Why is she a prostitute hooker?
Dude, she is thick.
And she's got panties coming down her thighs, but she's wearing lingerie.
This has to be
very so for the listeners, if you can't see this is very Wallace and Gromity and Betty Boopish, but in kind of clay form. And there's this very, very happy looking lad in a suit. Looks like he's about to get laid, and there's this
eyes
whorish
are dead.
Gromit lady or Wallace.
Yeah, this has to be Fatal, right? Fatal Attraction
has to be Fatal. Let's check out the log line. I will read it. A married man's one-night stand comes back to haunt him when that lover begins to stalk him and his family. Easy. This is Fatal Attraction. Hit us right away.
Checks out.
We're doing way better than I was.
Well, the AI is better. I'll be honest.
That's true. Oh,
all right.
That was the last one. That was the last one. So this is all bonus stuff. So we have some bonus stuff. This is some rejects. So Nick, this last page. Oh no, the Bill Cosby in the back. Oh no. Oh no. That's so bad. So Nick, my wife, these are the rejects, the ones that didn't quite make the main event. And then the answers will be on the second page. So let's go run through these.
Leonard.
Dude, that Bill Cosby below that other one. Look at that Bill Cosby.
What is this?
There's 2 cops and 2 thieves?
Women thieves?
And this is in that Wallace and Gromit style. That's obviously Buckaroo Banzai because there's
it says
a million Peter Wellers.
They even grabbed Peter Weller's face. I don't know who the Asian gal is over here. But
wait, what is it? The title says Buckaroo and something Kaz Valara's team. Which I think is trying to say Cavaliers.
Yeah. That's Killer Clowns.
I think there's 2 Killer Clowns on this page. The one right above it, too.
Man, AI is impressive these days.
Oh, BMX Bandits, top right, easy.
BMX Bandits, absolutely.
In Lego form. And then Indian in the cupboard. That's a good Indian in the cupboard.
Dude, what's his third hand? What's grabbing him?
It's the lost souls that fall to purgatory of the afterlife of Omri's
I like how
cupboard.
This guy's Indian. So
on the next page, when we reveal it, that foursome is actually 4 brothers. That makes no sense.
They're not brothers.
Yeah, there's sisters in there. Oh my god, that little Bill Cosby in the bottom left. Why is he a tiny? What was the log line for that one? Let me look it up. It says secret agent Leonard Parker. Oh, in parentheses, it says Bill Cosby is called out of retirement. I was like, Leonard Part is not a well-known IP. Is called out of retirement to save the world from evil genius Medusa Johnson, Gloria Foster. That is so funny. The Bill Cosby ones are cursed, and the Indian in the cupboard one is weird. Oh boy, Nick. All right, Nick, let's get out of here. Let's close out the AI logline quiz. I think we did really good. I wasn't keeping score. That was just for fun, just to get our warm up in. But now, Nick, it's time for the head to head portion. So let me just lay the groundwork here. Ground rules. Okay, head to head portion. So we are going to have 4 rounds. Round 1 is going to consist of 5 questions, free for all questions. All movies are on the table. Any format you want. We're going to have 1 point for each question, 5 points. Round 2, that's where we're going to hit our multiple choice. So we did divide it up of odds versus even episodes. The 6 questions are going to be worth 2. So that's going to be a total of 12 points. Round 3, that's going to be our rapid fire. We're going to kick it into overdrive. We have 90 seconds on the clock. We both have 16 questions prepared, and that is divided by odds and evens episodes. And then our final round of round 4, that's going to be a tiered point quiz. So a lot more layers to the shit player. And there's going to be high risk, high reward in that last category. There's going to be 5 questions for a total of 25 possible points.
I'm so ready.
Last year, we did have some prizes for the quiz portion. We're going to have some similar prizes here. Last year's prize was winner got to pick a movie on the calendar for the following year. So for this time around, the overall winner gets 2 things. 1, they get to pick whether they want to pick a movie that has already come out, or they could pick a movie that is going to be released in theaters in 2025, because we're going to make that a new tradition. I think we're going to have 1 new movie on the year. So winner gets to pick that.
I think is a good.
Loser gets the other option. So just the second option, that whatever the winner defers to. And the winner's also going to get the free movie that they go see in theaters plus snacks, because we are the concession stand kids. So loser foots the bill for the admission ticket and popcorn, corn dogs, hot dog, maybe booze.
Yeah, my local theater sells booze, so
that's why I don't want to lose.
It up. Yeah,
even though popcorn and soda apparently is probably the same price.
Oh yeah, a large soda and a beer. Yeah, you're about in the same category there.
I won last year's. I'm choosing to answer first, and then you are going to have to finish off this quiz when we hit round 4. So I will go first in each category. Round 1, free for all, 5 questions. I didn't do a whole lot of listening back to the podcast, so I'm just banking on my super textured, non-smooth brain over here. So what do you got? Right. Round 1, let's go.
Round 1, this is just the free for all. A lot of these are just about the pod. So these are about the pod. 1 is about a movie, but in general, we're going to go about the pod. So question number 1, let's jump right into it. James, in this last season, we've watched 4 movies that debuted in 1987. Out of those 4, can you name me just one of them?
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction is correct. That is a valid answer. The 4 movies were Fatal Attraction, Leonard Part 6, Evil Dead 2, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I thought it was Planes, Trains as well.
Question number 2. James, we had 2 movies this year that were tied for the longest title. Can you name one of them?
Got to be Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension.
That is correct. It was that was tied with Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That's the same amount of words?
9 words. That is the same amount of words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buckaroo Banzai seems like it's 13 words.
Trust me, I counted them out like 5 times. I was like, those equal each other.
Okay.
This next question is, I'm a gambler. You know, I love sports gambling. So this question is over under. Did we go over or under 5.5 movies with a 1-word title? So 5 or less or 6 or more. 1-word titles.
How much time on the clock do I have?
I think we said 30 seconds. So tick-tock.
Okay. All right. I'm on the tick-tick here. So we got Bullet, Elektra. I think Daredevil is 1 word. Duel. Under?
It was over.
Fuck, I knew it was over.
You are missing titles like Cimarron, Memento, and Minutemen. We're all in those 1-word titles.
I knew
It
that
may
should have
have
been
been.
over. I know over unders should always be like unbelievable. Okay. Missed that
Yeah.
one. Missed that one.
Well, we have another over under, but it's phrased as a true or false question. James, true or false? The budget for all of the Indiana Jones movies we watched this year combined is less than $500 million. True or false?
It's probably like right at that number. Probably like right at that number. I'm gonna say it's under.
So the budget for all of them is less than $500 million. True or false? It's less?
True, it's less.
That is false. It was actually about $560 million. Dial of Destiny and Crystal Skull really bumped all of those up.
I like the way you planned that out strategically of unbelievable versus unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing a little mind games. All right.
Let's try to win. Let's try to win the majority here. Let's go question 5. See if I can get 3 out of 5.
So James, we watched 32 movies. We actually watched 33, but for this question, Evil Dead is combined. All right, it's one episode. So we had 32 movie watching episodes this season. All right. What did we watch more of? Movies from 1990 to present or from the 1980s to the past? So draw a line at 1989. Did we watch more movies from 1990 to now or 1989 to the beginning of time?
Below.
You think we watched less on the lower end? James, this was a trick question. We actually watched the same amount of movies.
Wait.
From the pre-90, 16 and 16. Now, that's a trick question. I wasn't going to get you. I have another question prepared for you.
Oh, I thought you were just give me a freebie.
No, I just thought it was a fun fact.
That's crazy.
We had 2 movies from the 1930s with Cimarron and Wizard of Oz. We had one from the 70s.
Yeah, I was ready to go under. I was like, it's got to be below because we watch a lot of 80s movies, but okay.
We watched 1380 movies, but we made up for it with 5 in the 90s, 7 movies from the 2000s.
But we watched more
this season.
80s technically because Evil Dead is combined.
Which is, yeah. So if I didn't combine them, it would have been the 80s. So it's a trick question. I just thought it was a fun fact that it split so evenly.
That is interesting.
I have an extra question prepared. Now, this is about a specific movie I just came up with because I'm like, it's not fair to do trick question on you. So in our movie, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, we had 4 friends who each went to a different location for this big life-changing summer. Can you name me 3 out of the 4 locations that our movie takes place in for our
How
girls?
specific? Country?
Just give me country.
Well, 2 of them technically were the United States. But I will say Greece,
A little more.
Mexico,
Greece is correct.
South Carolina.
That's correct. Can you give me the 4th one just for fun?
Oh, well, Tibby stayed home.
Do you remember where home was?
Is it like Indiana or something?
Bethesda, Maryland, but I would have taken state home.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right.
Okay.
Good job, buddy. 3 out of 5.
Woo. Yes. All right.
Woo.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
All right, Nick. It is your turn. So I have some a fun one here for you. My round 1 free for all 5 questions is going to be all about movie quotes. And the theme here is that it is going to be multiple choice, and the multiple choice options, all the characters share the same name. So it's going to be a segment I call Who Said That? Question number 1.
Ooh.
Who said that? Victor or Victor? The quote is, you got to look mean or people won't respect you. Was this A, Victor Joseph, or B, Victor Sweet? And if you need a reminder of what movies...
This is Victor Joseph talking to Thomas, telling him as an Indian, you got to look mean. They're on the bus. Yes, what a great scene this was.
This is Victor Joseph from the movie Smoke Signals. Nick, if you need me to tell you what movies these characters are from, just You can ask. No shame. No shame in that. Victor Joseph says, you got to look mean or people won't respect you. White people will run all over you. If you don't look mean, you got to look like a warrior. You got to look like you just came back from killing a buffalo, to which Thomas responds with, but our tribe never hunted buffalo. We were fishermen. From Smoke Signals.
Hey,
all right. Hey, Victor. That would have been an easy one if I did that. Okay. Who said that? Question number 2. Leonard or Leonard? The quote is, I'm Leonard blank. I'm from San Francisco. Is this A, Leonard Parker, or B, Leonard Shelby?
Oh, that's so tough because Bill Cosby's
the movies,
Leonard.
Right?
What is it takes place in San Francisco. Leonard Part 6 does, but this is Lenny from Memento.
Correct.
I don't think he was from San Francisco. I'm gonna go Leonard Part 6. I'm gonna go. This is Bill Cosby's Leonard.
Locking in Leonard Part 6. I'm sorry, Nick. This is Leonard Shelby because he was from San Francisco.
Man, I didn't realize we had 2 Leonards from San Francisco. Wow.
That is 1 for Victor Joseph.
It's a really good question.
No trick question here, but this is a little bit of a gimme. Who said that, Nick or Nick? The quote is this one of those black things? Is this A, Nick Peretti from New Jack City? Or B, Nick Justice from the Just Play It podcast?
What's both? This is
no, both.
Peretti. I was just listening.
Peretti.
This is the scene with the belt camera. Chris Rock's getting harassed, and they're like, his cover's blown, and Peretti just goes, "Wait, is this one of those black things?" And we're like, Peretti.
He was a little subtly racist. Okay, that is 2 on the board for Mr. Nick for the question about Nicks. I wouldn't expect you to get that wrong. Who said that? Question number 4. Who said that? Stone or stone or stone? So now we have 3 options. So the quote is, those are not your orders. Was this A, stone, B, stone, or C, stone? None of these characters got another credited name. If you want me to tell you what movie they're from, I can tell you.
No.
Hey,
I think,
you want to take a stab at it?
I think it's Stone.
Do you want me to tell you the movies?
Please.
Okay, so A, Stone is going to be, I think, Detective Stone from New Jack City. This is the Van Peebles.
Yep.
There was Bob Sapstone from Elektra, one of the goons from the weird Suicide Squad. And then the most recent movie we watched, Jack Frost, the scientist, was named Stone. But again, no one has a first name. That's just Stone. All of those guys are credited as just Stone.
It's recency bias. I believe this is Jack Frost when Agent Manners says we need to kill that thing. And Dr. Stone says those were not your orders. And that's the first time we go, he's not FBI. He's a damn mercenary. So I'm locking in Dr. Stone from Jack Frost into this answer.
Stone's locked in, and the context is Sam says, come on, shoot it. Stone says, those are not your orders. And Agent Manners says, somebody remember to put out the cat, and then shoots his gun at Jack Frost. This is from Jack Frost. This is Stone from Jack Frost. Well done.
This is Dr. Stone from Jack Frost. That's recency bias, but I didn't realize we had 3 Stones.
3 Stones.
It could have easily been New Jack City Stone.
Yeah, and I don't think Stone from Elektra said anything. So
I don't think so. He just got squished by a tree.
Rounding out, who said that? With question number 5. Who said that? Jack or Jack or Jack or Jack or Jack or Jack?
Oh.
Nick, the quote is, hey, look, fuck you, man. I will kick your sentence cut off. Is this A, Jack Pumpkinhead? B, Jack T. Colton? C, Jack Murdoch? D, Jack Mercer? E, Praetorian Jack? Or F, Jack Frost?
Mercer. This is
Nick, it seems
Jack
like you're
Mercer.
struggling with this answer. If you need a hint, his sentence is cut off by a snowball.
This is Jack Mercer.
This is Jack Mercer from Four Brothers. This is
100%.
Garrett Hedlund. right before he just gets straight up murked in that shootout scene. All right, well done, Nick. You lead the way. I believe you are at 4. I am at 3. Let's go ahead and move on to round 2, multiple choice.
And we're just going to go ahead and kick it off. So, James, in Romancing the Stone, part of your Cornspiracy here, what was the name of that fabled stone? Was it La Cartagena, El Corazon, Angelina, or the Crystal Skull?
I think it was, what was the first two?
La Cartagena and El Corazon.
I gotta go with El Corazon.
James, it is El Corazon. It is the heart. It is the giant emerald. You are correct.
Oh, I actually didn't even really know that. I just figured that would make the most sense.
I tried to throw you off because La Cartagena, the city they were in, was Cartagena.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I remember it was in Cartagena, but I knew that was a city that took place in. So didn't get me there.
All right, James, in our movie Solo, a Star Wars story, what is the name of the precious element that everyone is after? Is it cadmium, neutronium, coaxium, or thallium?
Nick, this is going to be answer letter C, coaxium.
You're damn right it is. They are after that coaxium. That is the good stuff.
Oh, okay. I like these softballs you're giving me. Let's see if they get harder.
James, in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yes, love pants questions.
We know that Carmen is very proud of her heritage. What is that ethnicity that Carmen is? Is she a proud Colombian, Puerto Rican, Mexican, or Venezuelan?
Now, if I know my girl Carmen, which I think I do, I believe that she is a proud Puerto Rican. I'm going to go with B.
She is a real proud Puerto Rican Catholic, and she don't like that Al, her dad, be sleeping around with these white women.
We don't like that Get Out family.
No.
Oh, that was another conspiracy, actually, we spun. Was Bradley Whitford being, he left his family and started the Get Out family. Because they were weird. Yeah, they were weird. We didn't like them.
James, we know from recency, we watched Indiana Jones' Dial of Destiny. That's an even movie. That's on your plate. Mm-hmm. We know that was the most recent, and that was a long movie. In fact, I think that was the longest runtime of any Indiana Jones movie. What Indiana Jones movie has the shortest runtime? Is it Raiders, Temple of Doom, The Last Crusade, or Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
I feel like this is a toss-up here, and I feel like just what would make the most sense, and logistically, I'm going to go with A, Raiders. Is that the shortest?
James, close. It actually was Temple by about 5 minutes. It was not a huge, it was a bit of a toss-up, but Temple of Doom was the shortest runtime of the Indiana Jones movies. All right, James, let's transfer over to the Evil Dead, all right, or Evil Deads, because this applies to both of our movies. James, in the Evil Deads, what is not a way that Ash has killed someone or something? An axe, a shovel, a chainsaw, or a dagger?
Toss up between axe and dagger. I don't remember any daggers. I feel like there had to be an axe. I'm gonna go with your gut and just go D, dagger. Hopefully that is correct.
James, the correct answer for this one is D, dagger.
I think I remember him chopping up someone with an axe. Definitely chainsaw, 100% shovel.
Most definitely.
Who can forget the shovel?
Yeah. Who can forget the shovel? You've had 4 out of 5 so far. James, which actor have we not seen multiple times this season? A, Adam Beach. B, Jennifer Garner. C, Clancy Brown. D, Jon Favreau.
The question is, which have we not seen twice?
Correct. More than once.
Oh. I got it. This is gonna be Clancy Brown.
James, you are correct. This is Clancy Brown. Adam Beach, obviously Smoke
Holy
Signals,
shit.
and then Four
Just
Brothers
remembered
cameo.
he was in Four Brothers.
Yeah,
And it was
Jennifer
between
Garner.
him and obviously Daredevil and Elektra. And Jon Favreau is Foggy Nelson in Daredevil, and he also played that monkey thing in Solo.
Correct.
That was a good one.
That was a good
That
one.
was a good one.
I
That was a
actually
good
was
one.
very proud of that question. So, James, you got 5 out of 6.
So I'm at 13
Yep.
over here.
You were at a total of 13.
I feel like my multiple choice might be a little bit harder. Maybe.
That's okay.
But also I know Carmen's a Puerto Rican. All right. Nick, round 2 for you. Multiple choice. 6 questions. Question number 1. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, is divided into 5 titled chapters. Which of these is not a title of a chapter? Is it A, The Prisoner, B, Homeward, C, Beyond Vengeance, or D, Lessons from the Wasteland?
I believe it is C, Beyond Vengeance. Go with my gut. I'm not going to take a long time here.
I think that's a good strategy. Unfortunately, it did not work for question 1 because the correct answer is The Prisoner. The Prisoner is not a title chapter. The other 2 chapters are The Pole of Inaccessibility and The Stowaway. So The Stowaway is the correct.
Stowaway.
The Prisoner is not correct. Nick, question number 2 from our Black Moon Rising episode. This is a little bit more podcast affiliated, so hopefully you listened to a Black Moon Rising episode recently. All right, not looking confident over there. Lee Ving, who plays antagonist Ringer, was called out for being part of what hardcore punk band? Is this A, Black Flag, B, Misfits, C, Fear, or D, Minor Threat?
Fear.
Nick, do you love living in the city? It seems like you have no fear with answering this question because Nick loves living in the city. It is fear. Good job. I thought that was going to be a hard one.
I did listen to Black Moon Rising episode today, so.
That's some good studying. Perfect. All right. Well, then hopefully you also listen to Buckaroo Banzai because question number 3 is going to be Buckaroo Banzai is able to travel through solid matter into the 8th dimension with the help of what device? Is it A, Matter Disruptor, B, Atom Accelerator, C, Fluctuation Reactor, or D, Oscillation Overthruster?
The Overthruster. D.
Nick, the strategy is proven to be effective. It's 2 out of 3. It is Oscillation Overthruster. Nice job. Well done. Now, Nick, this might get a little hard and tricky now. But question number 4. Which movie featured the biggest quantity of American-born musical artists as actors?
Ooh.
And let me know if you need a hint after I name these.
Okay.
Is it A, Bullet, B, New Jack City, C, Solo, a Star Wars story, or D, Four Brothers?
Ooh. So, oh man. So questions like, is Mark Wahlberg an artist, an American artist? Marky Mark.
My only hint for you is hint, the musical artists are at least in the top 8 billed actors.
My heart says New Jack. Ice-T. I'm forgetting the name, but I know there were a few other rappers in there, R&B artists. I know when they went on their when they did the live musical adaptation or the live adaptation, they pulled in a few
Tretch,
of those.
Pulled in Big Daddy Kane. Yep.
And
But
I'm
that's
trying
the
to
play.
remember. I
That's
think
the play.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if Tretch was would be a top 8 build.
Now I got Nick thinking.
I have to go with my gut. That's what I'm doing. I'm going New Jack. I'm going with my heart. The music is so iconic in it. I have to think. But this sounds like a trick question, but I'm going with my heart. I'm going New Jack City.
Nick, you're right on one front. The music is super iconic. However, you are wrong on the actual answer because the correct answer is actually Four Brothers. We have Marky Mark. We have Andre 3000. And Tyrese has multiple R&B albums. He's a singer.
Really?
He's a singer before he went full on into acting. So for New Jack City, we had Ice-T and a Flava Flav cameo.
Yep.
Technically, we had Ika Mouse, who is a reggae musician, but he is Jamaican-born. That's why I said American-born musical artist, so that it wasn't a tie.
Oh, okay.
Bullet only had Tupac, and Solo, A Star Wars Story, only had Childish Gambino.
I didn't know Tyrese was an artist.
R&B singer. Nick,
Yep.
2 out of 4. Let's correct course here. Let's move on to question 5. I have a similar question that you asked me about Evil Dead. This is a murder question. Killer clowns from outer space showcased many funny death scenes. Which of these was a method of murder / attempted murder that was featured in the movie? So I have 3 falsies and 1 true.
Okay.
Was it A, stuffing a person into a jack-in-the-box? B, running a motorist off the road with an invisible car? C, spraying acid from a joke flower? Or D, running over a pedestrian with a clown car?
Do I not remember that movie well enough? Stuff into a jack in the box. I'm going to say no. Running off the road with an invisible car. Acid from a joke flower. I think all the acid came from pies. And then running over a motorist with a clown car. They were all in a clown car. I don't recall them trying to run anybody over. Go running a motorist off the road in an invisible car. I don't know why, but that one's just sticking out to me.
Nick, no one knows why this movie was made. It's just because the Kyoto brothers thought it would be a great idea. But your guess of running a motorist off the road with an invisible car is correct.
That's
because
what
it's that puppet shadow
that.
clown that runs a guy off the road.
I'm not crazy.
Alrighty, question number 6 to finish it out here, Nick. Known for Muppets and Puppets, Jim Henson broke our perfect streak on our Cinematrix quiz run. Don't worry, Nick. Nothing to do with Cinematrix. His son Brian Henson lent a hand, or rather his voice, for a puppet in Return to Oz. Who did he voice? A. Gump. B. TikTok. C. Jack Pumpkinhead. Or D. Scarecrow.
C or D. It's C or D. God, my heart's telling me it's Jack Pumpkinhead. C, Jack Pumpkinhead. Gut. Gotta stick with the gut. I think it's wrong. I remember this vividly from the episode.
Why do you think it's wrong?
Because I'm a pessimist, James.
Well, you should be, because it is Jack Pumpkinhead, Nick. You just got 5
That's what I thought.
out of 6. Let's
4.
go, baby.
4 out of 6.
Out of 6. Wait, 4? Oh, yeah, 4 out of 6.
Yes.
You just got 4
out
out of 6. So what's our total after 2 rounds?
I am at 12. James, you are at 13.
Okay. Leading the way here. Now, it's about to get crazy, fast, and furious. We're about to enter our rapid fire round. And Nick, you're going to hit me with your rapid fires.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Let's party.
James, in smoke signals, what holiday did the fire start on?
Independence Day.
Correct. What was the name of the boomtown in Cimarron?
Osage.
Correct. The name of Indiana Jones' love interest in 3 of the 5 movies?
Marion.
Correct.
Ravenwood.
What does Leonard suffer from in Memento?
Antero, Great Amnesia.
Correct. What was the youngest brother's name in 4 Brothers?
Jack.
What treasure were they looking for in The Last Crusade?
Holy Grail.
The name of the crime syndicate in Elektra?
The Hand. Gotta say correct.
The Wizard of Oz was famous for using what film process?
Technicolor.
Correct. In what country did they find the crystal skull?
Peru.
Correct. What was the famous opera referenced in Fatal Attraction?
Oh, Madame Butterfly.
Correct. In It Follows, the entity kills Greg while disguised as what?
His mom.
Correct. What state does The Evil Dead take place in?
Tennessee.
Correct. What is the name of the book of the dead in Evil Dead?
The Necronomicon.
Correct. Where were Neil and Dell trying to fly to Thanksgiving? Trying to get to for Thanksgiving?
Chicago.
Correct. What are the name of Elektra's weapons?
Size.
Correct. That I asked the question before the 90 was up, so you get the side question. Correct. That was 15 questions. Correct.
What was your last question?
In Cimarron, what did Yancey use the church donations for? Or want to use the church donations for?
Buy a new town. Wait, what was that one actually?
In Oregon. He was going to buy an organ.
Oh, yeah. That's actually one I didn't know.
I know.
Okay.
I tried to keep them easy and just kind of try to like use the
It's really
the time. Make
it's
sure
really
the
the
time,
time.
was the yeah.
It's really the time that's going to get you.
Yeah, it shouldn't be hard questions. It should be like simpler questions that like you feel pressed to answer. So
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Great
It's
job,
really the
James.
time.
Great jobs. 15.
Woo. Okay. So that's 1 point each. That is 15 points on the board right now. And I just took out Tomato Town. Nick, round 3, rapid fire. 90 seconds on the clock. We are going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. In The Indian in the Cupboard, Little Bear was part of which tribe?
Cherokee.
Incorrect. Iroquois. Part of Indiana Jones franchise, Kate Capshaw played what character?
Marion.
Incorrect. Willie Scott. Buckaroo Banzai's band is called the Hong Kong what?
Cavaliers.
Correct. Product placement was a huge part of Leonard Part 6. What was the brand
Coca-Cola.
of soap that was
sorry.
gratuitously featured? Lava is correct.
Lava soap.
Donnie Wahlberg played Big Balls in what movie?
Four Brothers.
Incorrect. That is
That's
Bullet.
incorrect. Yep.
Watsonville
I knew it
doubles
when I
for
said
what
it.
fictional city in Killer Clowns?
Oh, pass. I forget what the city was called.
Crescent Cove. Archimedes' dial was based on what real-life mechanism?
Compass.
Incorrect. Antikythera. In New Jack City, what was the name of the apartment complex the CMB converted into their crack headquarters?
Oh my god, I just listened to this one. That's the I pass.
The Carter. According to the Philippines, this movie is the sequel to The Wraith.
Oh, this is Black Moon Rising.
Correct. True or false, George Miller did not direct Furiosa.
True.
Incorrect. False. Name a character from BMX Bandits.
Nicole Kidman.
You name a character. Name a character. You're still on the clock.
I don't have one.
Oh, I would have accepted PJ, Goose, Judy, the Creep, Whitey Mustache, or the Boss.
I told you I'm not good at these. I knew all the answers as soon as I said them out loud. I was like, "Yeah, that's not right."
So the George Miller did not direct Furiosa is false because he did.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard. Like George Miller directed Furiosa,
man.
And so when I answered it,
gotcha. The clock gotcha.
Yeah. So I heard George Miller directed Furiosa. I was like, yeah. Then it's like false. I was like, wait, what? He didn't. The Carter, I'm not good at those time sensitive ones. So I got 3 correct there. So I'm at 15. You're at 28. I got a lot of ground to cover.
Just for funsies, I'll read off the rest of my questions. Nick, in Return to Oz, our main characters flew over what lethal landscape?
Quicksand. Desert.
Deadly desert, but I'll accept it. This is a good one. In Minutemen, Virgil claims we're the Minutemen, not the blank men.
Oh my god, we're the Minutemen, not the Wimpy Men or something like that. I forget what it was. Weenie Men. That's what it was.
The murderous truck driver in Duel drove what brand of semi-truck?
I'm a Peterbilt.
And lastly, what automobile additive plays a key role in 97's Jack Frost?
Oh, antifreeze. Yeah.
Yep.
We're moving on to round 4. This is where 5 points for each question. Each question you could get from a bottom of 0 and a maximum of 5, and then everything in between. And the way my quiz is going to work, it is called Put Them in Order. So I'm going to give you a premise with 5 options, and you're going to have to put them in the order that I have described. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. Question number
Love
one.
timelines.
Put them in order, James. The longest podcast runtime from shortest to longest. Cimarron, Romancing the Stone, Solo, A Star Wars Story, Bullet, and Minutemen.
Off the rip, I'm going to say Solo is the longest.
Okay.
Do you tell me if it's right or just like after all the all the dust settles?
You got to put them all together. You got to put them all there.
Solo, I'm going to guess is the longest. Oh, this is really a crapshoot here. I'm going to say the shortest is Romancing the Stone.
So Romancing the Stone at 1.
I'll go Minutemen at 2.
Okay.
Cimarron at 3 and Bullet at 4.
And Bullet at 4. So, James, the answers you have go Romancing the Stone, Minutemen, Cimarron, Bullet, and Solo, A Star Wars Story. Let's see the correct answers. The correct answers are, you are correct at number 1, Romancing the Stone, and number 2, Minutemen. This is where it falls apart. Number 3, where you said Cimarron was actually Bullet. 4 is Solo.
Wait. What did we talk about in Cimarron?
Cimarron was also the episode where we reviewed all of the Oscar winners.
So I figured Solo was, because I know Daredevil was very long, because we had a lot to say about canon accurate stuff, and I knew that was deep. Usually when we go into deep lore nerd stuff, it's a longer episode, like a Star Wars or a Marvel or a superhero movie. Okay. All right. That was a good question. Okay, so I got 2 points. 2 points on the board.
2 out of 5. So 2 points on that question. Next question, James, we have date from the movie. So a date that something happened in the movie. So we have the Oklahoma land rush from Cimarron. We have the year Boo-Hoo Boone was from. You actually called this out earlier in the podcast.
Can I remember it?
We have the year in Raiders of the Lost Ark. We have the year of the Wingo Concordia prototype in Black Moon Rising, and the year from that Return of Oz was set in.
Okay, so I'm going to say Boo-Hoo Boone is 1.
All right, number 1 is Boo-Hoo Boone.
And you mean the year of the Wingo Concordia, like the car? Like the car
The concept
year?
car, yeah.
Okay.
Car year.
I'm going to say the Oklahoma land rush in Cimarron is number 2.
Okay.
I'm going to say the year Return to Oz was set in is next, followed by Raiders of the Lost Ark, followed by the Wingo Concordia. Because that's like the 80s.
The Concordia was a layup for you because I thought these might get a little ridiculous.
Well, it kind of was too confusing because it was a little bit like, why is that in there?
A little crazy. Yeah. So this one, I think you're going to love your answers, James. You are correct on all of your answers. Boo-Hoo Boone's timeline is 1879. The Oklahoma land rush was 1889.
Oz takes place in the 1800s? I just went by year of when Wizard of Oz came out.
Return to Oz year was actually 1899.
Wait,
from
Wizard
Raiders
of Oz came out
1936. Return to Oz came out in 85.
39?
Wizard of Oz came out in
1939. Wizard I totally misremembered that. For some reason, I think I was thinking of Cimarron of what year that came out. So that's incidental for me.
Hey, that's fine. You got it correct. Raiders was 1936, and obviously the Wingo Concordia way later, 1980. So, James, you got 5?
All
5 correct there. Yeah, that was an easier one. I thought after the first one, the podcast.
The Boo-Hoo Boone really kicked that off from my Cornspiracy. So good thing I wrote that down.
That was a good one. All right, James, next tiered question here. We have box office returns from lowest to highest.
Percentage?
Not percentage, total.
Okay.
Total in millions of dollars. We have Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. We have New Jack City. We have Four Brothers. We have Elektra, and we have Memento.
Oh, God. Okay.
They're all kind of in that weird range.
Yeah, this is going to be a bad one for me. I can already tell. I know for a fact, not for a fact, I believe New Jack City is in the 40 million range. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, maybe like 60 million. Four Brothers, gotta be 90 or something. That was fucking 100. That was top tier. Elektra. You know what? I'm going to go with my boys, Four Brothers at the top. I'm going to say they made the most money.
Okay.
Four Brothers at the top. I'll go Elektra at number 4. I'll go Pants at 3, Memento at 2, and New Jack City at 1. From lowest to highest. 1 to 5. 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. New Jack City.
Memento at 2.
Memento, Pants, Elektra, Four Brothers.
Elektra, Four Brothers. Well, let's check it out, James. Number 1 is actually Memento, only bringing in $40 million. Followed by Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, actually, at $42 million, and New Jack at $47. You did, however, get number 4 and 5 at Elektra, and you're right, Four Brothers blew all of these away at the solid $92 million
because that movie rocks.
Range.
I remember that being in the 90s. Okay. So similar to the first question, like once you mess up 1 or 2, then you kind of jumble.
Makes it hard. Yeah. Makes it jumble. But you did work backwards 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. So you did get 5 and 4. So you get 2 points on that. So you are at 9 points total out of 3 questions so far. All right, James. Next question. We have Tomato Meter. These are strictly critic scores. Not people, not our scores, nothing. Strictly the critics. How well have you been tracking these critics, James?
Not well.
And our movies here are Four Brothers.
Again?
BMX Bandits. Daredevil. The Indian in the Cupboard. And The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, boy.
Strictly
This
the critics.
First off, this is an amazing group of movies here. So if the critics got any fucking bad things to say about these guys, then I got problems.
That's what makes this question interesting, because you got to remember or try to think, how are the critics going to view these movies that honestly should all be fresh?
Should be. Oh man, they're all in like that 60s, 50 range, I'm sure. Okay. Let's go Indian in the Cupboard at the bottom. Indian in the Cupboard, Buckaroo Banzai, BMX Bandits, Daredevil, Four Brothers. That's going to be so wrong.
James, you have locked in Indian in the Cupboard, Buckaroo Banzai, BMX Bandits, Daredevil, and Four Brothers. Let's see how it
Four Brothers at the top again.
Out. James, the bottom is actually Daredevil at 43, and then Four Brothers, followed by Buckaroo Banzai at 66%, BMX Bandits at 67%, and the one you put at the bottom, Indian in the Cupboard, is actually the highest rated critic score.
That's
of
fresh.
These movies on Rotten Tomatoes at 70%. So unfortunately, James,
did I get any?
You got none. Oof. And James, I don't blame you. I don't blame me. I blame the critics. They suck, and that's why podcasts like ours are important. That's why podcasts like ours are.
I thought it was going to be a crazy trick question where Four Brothers was going to double down and be the top selection back to back. Okay.
Unfortunately, it only got the 53%, which is trash.
That's tough for me.
All right, James. Our final question. This one might be a little tough, but I believe in you.
Ooh, okay. Let's go.
James, I want the age of the actor in the movie that they played in. So, James, we have John Candy's age. In Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So not his character's age, John Candy, the actor, his age in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Mark Wahlberg in Four Brothers. Mickey Rourke in Bullet. Michael Douglas's age in Romancing the Stone. And Ben Affleck's age in Daredevil.
Michael Douglas, I'm saying, is the oldest.
Okay, Mikey Doug.
He's the oldest. It sucks because like I know certain ones are younger than others, but if I mess up one, then it just fucks up the entire order.
It's kind of a fucked up quiz. I'm not gonna lie to you.
John Candy. I did not research this. Mickey Rourke is older in Bullet than Mark Wahlberg is in Four Brothers. Let's go Mickey Rourke at second oldest. Oh, this is where it's gonna get fucky. I just wrote this down for the best fighter too, because I did look up everybody's ages. So I know Mark Wahlberg was 33 in Four Brothers, or when it came out, I should say. And I believe Mickey Rourke was like 36 or late 30s. I think Michael Douglas was like pushing 40, maybe late 30s. Ben Affleck and Daredevil. Let's go. Mark Wahlberg at number 3, Ben Affleck at number 2, John Candy. I'm just going to go out on a crazy wild card and say he was the youngest.
Ooh, that's bold, James. I forget actually what the answer is. Let's go ahead and look at it. We have actually the youngest is Ben Affleck in Daredevil. He was 31 years old. Then we have Mark Wahlberg in Four Brothers at 34 years old. John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was 37. Michael Douglas in Romancing the Stone was actually 40 and the oldest. And I think we forget how old Mickey Rourke is. In Bullet, Mickey Rourke was 44 years old.
I just put this together on the roster of the best five. Yeah, he is 44. Damn it, that sucks.
Isn't that crazy to think of how old he is? James, I'm going to give you, because you had the correct thought process.
Don't give me any.
This is like
zero.
This is a show.
Zero.
This is a show your work versus the answer. Show your work.
Don't grade on a curve.
I'm curving you. Do you want me to curve you? I feel like you deserve the curve. This is a tough format.
No, curve me in spirit. Be hardball on paper, because it's going to come down to the nitty gritty here, Nick.
Okay, James. So you got 9 points over that. If I'm not giving you the curve, surfboard, you're at 37.
So what are you
at? 37 total. I'm at 15 total. I would need 23 points.
Oh my God. That's like basically perfecting out.
I know. So that's why I don't feel bad about not grading the curve.
Yeah. Don't surfboard me. Just leave it and read it and weep. Oh boy. Well, now I feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
But I feel like I am very good at rapid fire, and unfortunately you are not. So don't feel bad for me for the last round. Nick, entering round 4, tiered point quiz, open category.
I'm going to swing for the fences here. I just need you to
know. Really?
I have to.
Well, here's the risk. I have a quiz called What Am I? I will be describing a movie. I am giving you 5 clues. If you guess it correctly on the first clue, you get 5 points. If you guess it correctly on the second clue, you get 4 points. Third clue is 3 points. Fourth clue is 2 points. Fifth clue is 1 point. If you prematurely guess incorrectly, that is a 0. So technically you need 23. So this is going to be tough. So Nick, would you rather go for pride, or are you just going to be reckless abandon?
There's no pride in second place, James.
All right. Well, What Am I? Movie number 1. Clue number 1. I am a film that features a 15-minute chase sequence with little dialogue. This one you might want to wait until second clue if you want to have.
I have an idea, but I'm waiting for second clue.
Talk to me your ideas. I just want to hear them. Think them out loud.
Thinking out loud. 15-minute chase scene with little dialogue can easily be. Could be an Indiana Jones movie. That's kind of where my head's at right now. Is an Indiana Jones movie. I'm trying to think of other chase sequences. Duel has a lot of chase scenes with no dialogue. BMX Bandits, I don't know if that chase scene was 15 minutes, but that was a pretty long chase scene with little dialogue. Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at right now.
Well, let me give you clue number 2, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, please do.
Movie 1, clue number 2. One of my main actors is a famous Australian actor.
It's a famous Australian actor. I feel like I have to take the guess here, and I'm going to have to go Furiosa.
Nick, clue number 3 is I am a foreign film from Australia. Clue number 4 is I have a character in my film simply named The Creep. Clue number 5, I am a film that focuses on BMX bicycles. I am BMX Bandits.
So
that
Nicole Kidman was the famous...
Nicole Kidman was the famous Australian actor.
Okay.
As opposed to a Chris Hemsworth. Nick, I feel like to give you a fighting chance, should we just go double or nothing? Should we just double the point amounts?
No, the same way there's no spirit, there's no grading on a curve. You just keep hitting me, though. I'm going to keep trying my best.
Okay,
Promise.
so mathematically, you might have lost.
I'm out.
Because now...
Yeah, I'm out.
So now I think you should actually just try for the win. Don't swing for the fences here.
Yeah.
All right. For funsies, hanging out with my best bud, movie number 2, Clue 1. Very vague. You should not make a swing for the fences on this one. Clue number 1 is, I am a film that features traveling.
Yeah.
And you could just name the ones off the top of your head that come to mind.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is travel. I mean, it depends on how far we're traveling. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. If we're talking traveling, it could be like Oz, either of the Oz's, any of the Indiana Jones travels. So there's a lot. There's a Solo travels. Yeah. Cimarron. A lot.
Clue number 2. One of my main characters deals with the death of a loved one.
So now I'm really thinking Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because of Dell's character and his wife who has passed. In Romancing the Stone, she dealt with the death of her brother-in-law, sister. I mean, her sister's not dead, but she doesn't know that. So I don't think that would be it. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is really where my heart's at, but give me one more.
Clue number 3. I am a film that features an odd couple taking a road trip, which pairs a lovable goofball and a person who takes life way too seriously, who is constantly bothered by the goofball.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Is that your final guess?
That's my final guess.
Clue number 4 is, unfortunately, my movie showcases domestic violence. And clue number 5 is, my main characters are from the Coeur d'Alene Indian Reservation. I am Smoke Signals.
What was clue 5 and 4 again?
Clue 4 is, unfortunately, my movie showcases domestic violence.
That was it. No. Sorry, clues 1 and 2 again.
Clues 1 is, I am a film that features traveling.
Okay.
And clue 2 is, one of my main characters deals with the death of a loved one.
And one's a lovable goofball? I wouldn't describe Thomas that way.
He just pissed off Victor Joseph, who played the straight man. And Thomas was the just the lovable guy who was just down for the ride and bothered the main character. So actually, this is the question that inspired this entire topic, because I was like, Smoke Signals is kind of very similar to Neil and Dell's relationship, honestly.
Lovable is a big word, but I hear where you're coming from.
Alrighty. Movie number 3. Clue number 1. One of my main characters has a kill count of at least 5.
I'm gonna guess Cimarron.
What?
Yancey has the notches on his fucking revolver.
Nick, before you jump that gun. Clue number 2 is, I am a revenge story.
Okay. So now we can think 4 brothers. There's actually a couple. There's a couple movies this can run with. All right, give me the next question.
Next clue is, it snows in my movie. So this really narrows it down.
This could definitely be 4 brothers. In fact, could really be 4 brothers.
What's the only other movie that could be?
Jack Frost.
So, what do you think?
Give me the next one.
I came out in 2005, and my main character or characters do not have anterograde amnesia. They are not made of snow, and they are not women.
All right, so it's 4 brothers. There you go.
I am 4 brothers. The final clue was, my main characters are 4 adopted brothers. Well done, Nick.
So when your first question is, I have a kill count. Is that all 4 brothers have a kill count of over 5?
The first clue was, one of my main characters has a kill count of at least 5. That would be Bobby Mercer, who killed 5 people. Because Jack Frost easily killed 5 people.
I heard my main character has. I was like, okay, gotcha.
One of them.
Okay.
I try to be very careful with my wording because of this very reason.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm trying to make sure that I'm listening to the wording.
Here's a good one. Movie number 4. I am a film that features either aliens or interdimensional beings.
All right, so obviously we have Buckaroo Banzai. We have Solo. We have
2 more.
Those are definitely 2 of my big ones. I mean, I don't know. Interdimensional, I don't know if we have Crystal Skull. We have It Follows. So those are my 4 off the top of my head.
Not what I was thinking, but there is another movie.
Well, Killer Clowns is there as well, I guess.
From outer space.
Yeah.
Clue number 2. You want it?
Yeah.
My main protagonists are a group of eclectic characters.
Characters could be Buckaroo, could be Killer Clowns. Crystal Skull's not eclectic. All right, give me clue number 3.
Clue number 3 is I am an origin story.
If it's an origin story, I'm going Solo, a Star Wars story. For 3 points.
Well, technically, Buckaroo Banzai could be an origin story, but I am Solo, a Star Wars story.
No, everybody knows who Buckaroo is. There's no origin story.
No, that's true. That's true.
It's Buckaroo Banzai.
Clue number 4. I am a movie that takes place in 10 BBY. And clue number 5 was going to be the only time we see a lightsaber in my film is when Maul lights one up at the end via a holoprojector. Nick, the last movie number 5, What Am I? This is going to be a fun one. Let's see if you can bring it home strong. I feature an actor who played a character in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy.
So, I mean, my initial thought is The Evil Dead, because that was Sam Raimi in the Spider-Man trilogy. Let me think. Uncle Ben. Okay, give me number 2.
Clue number 2, the Spider-Man actor plays a character in my film who has a funny name.
Gosh, this sounds. I know. Oh my gosh, this is so.
Like you just listened to this today.
I know I did. And dude, I'm just a little. I'm a little off. Give me the next one.
Next clue. Clue number 3. This character stutters in my film.
Stutters in my film. This is New Jack City.
I am New Jack City. Clue number 4 is
man.
I am a film that focuses on the crack epidemic in the United States. And my 5th and final clue of the round was going to be Scotty Appleton says, I want to shoot you so bad, my dick's hard.
Dick is hard. Yep.
So, Nick, for fun, did you keep track of your points?
I did, James. I, in that round, got 8 points, leaving me with 23. And your total is 37. James, you have won. Yes! The quiz portion.
Yes, let's go. All righty.
Yes.
Well done. I would shake your hand if we were in the same room. So, Nick, I'll make an official answer, maybe in the wrap party, wrap up, the final. But I'm leaning towards I might choose to pick a movie that we watch in theaters. I'm going to look at the 2025 menu, which means you're going to have a movie that you can dig from your personal vault, and we have to watch it.
We'll see where it goes.
Okay, Nick, well done. Good quiz, and hopefully you guys at home had a good time trying to answer the questions. We're a little bit tricky, and we're a little bit dicky, and you can decide if we were more tricky or more dickish on that one. But, Nick, it's time to enter the bargain bin. I'm ready for this. I've done my homework. Nick.
Yes.
At the end of the year, I think we owe it to ourselves to possibly go through some re-rankings of some movies. Last year, we featured the hot corn seat, which was calling each other out of what the other one got egregiously wrong. This year, just like our AI quiz, I would love to go a little bit more co-op. I would love to look at our Just Play It scores from the year, and hopefully we can come to an agreement on what we think should be re-ranked. So I've asked you to come to the table with up to 6 movies that deserve a re-ranking. And here's how it's going to work. Each of us is going to have 3 individual re-rankings allowed. But the nice thing about this year is that we can negotiate with each other of maybe persuading the other to change their score to affect a certain movie's overall score. So, Nick, It's time to enter the bargain bin. Just like the old movies you find in the thrift store, the $2 bin, and just like the bargaining table, it's time to bargain. So, Nick, let me just come at you with my movies. How many movies did you pick to re-rank? Did you go max 6? Okay.
I 6'd them out.
Okay, I'm just going to name the movies that I would like to re-rank, possibly. I won't tell you if they go up or down. I'll tell you that later. My movies to re-rank are Memento, Furiosa, The Wizard of Oz, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, BMX Bandits, and Return to Oz. Nick, what have you brought to the bargain bin?
I have brought to the bargain bin Black Moon Rising.
Oh.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh.
New Jack City. Smoke Signals.
Okay.
Romancing the Stone.
Sharing nothing in common.
Furiosa.
Okay, Furiosa. Okay. Thank God. Okay.
Yep.
Nick, just for shits and gigs, can you tell me what direction are you leaning for Furiosa, since that's our shared one?
For Furiosa, I'd like to go a touch higher.
Great. I agree. I said that Furiosa should be higher. So, Nick, to start off the bargaining bin, in my opinion, I feel like I've seen a lot of hate for this movie online, and I really think they just fall to the pitfall of kind of what we touched upon in our episode. People really just hold Fury Road in high regard, and they use that as a very biased comparison when Furiosa is almost like a Last Crusade to Raiders for me personally, because I felt like it had the same amount of care and action and editing put into that as Fury Road. It just focused on the story more, whereas Fury Road was all crazy, awesome spectacle. So in my opinion, I think Furiosa deserves to be at least a 9. So I would bargain for you to possibly raise your score to an 8.8. Unless you're going higher.
No, I think it's a very reasonable score for me. I was actually going to rise it up to an 8.9. I don't think it touches 9. I don't think it touches 9. I think it still lands under Fury Road for me. I gave it, so just for the audience, if you don't remember, I did give it an 8.5. I did not have hate for this movie at all. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it rested on Fury Road's laurels just a tad, especially with Immortan Joe and the War Boys. And I get it. That's the time frame it falls into, but this was the first Mad Max that we saw actually coincide with another Mad Max's timeline. So it was a little off to me to have like a separate spin-off saga. As it's marinated more, I think it has risen to an 8.9. I don't think it breaks the 9 for me, but I will raise it all the way up. Very
it breaks the 9 for the average. I think when people watch this movie, when they go watch this movie in the future, they're going to be like, why was this so hated? So for me personally,
I haven't paid attention to the online hate. What's the... I've never disliked this movie. This movie's really good. It was always.
I would see
really
Reddit
good.
posts of like, "How is Furiosa?" and then people say like, "Okay, yeah,
Reddit's
that's my first
a bunch of degens." Yeah, don't those people are get them out of here.
Sticking with these 9s, I did think Furiosa overall should be a 9 to a 9.1, which is going to bring me to Memento. I was actually going to downtrend it slightly. I think it deserves to be a 9 to a 9.1 as well, because we do have that as a 9.2 that matches Fury Road. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think it's a Fury Road quality movie? This is that thing where we come off of it so like we're riding high, and then we're so impressed by the writing, but we got to take into account visuals, effects, editing.
Yeah, I'm personally, if we're negotiating, I don't feel like budging off of Memento very much. Maybe by 0.1, if that makes us feel better. But this movie really was revolutionary. The one timeline going forward in color picture, the other timeline working backwards in black and white, the merging of the stories, the convolution of the stories, then coming to a head at the very end of it, piecing things together for it. The fact that a movie in 2000 was so comfortable being so ambiguous as to the ending of it, I still think it's wildly revolutionary. I still feel very comfortable with it being in the 9s.
Okay. All right. Well, if you don't feel strong about that, but you're thinking Furiosa is an 8.9 for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I feel very good about that. That's why I did put it on my list, because I did 8.5. It was a little harsh. I was in the crowd of like, it's not Fury Road. And
And
so
that's
I
the
dinged it a few
problem.
points.
It's its own thing, and it's so good. It's so good.
It's so good. I never said it wasn't good. By the way,
Yeah.
just for myself, defending myself here, I always really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. I thought the characters were great. I think Dementis, maybe one of the best
the best Mad Max
antagonists
villain
that Mad Max has ever had. Hands down. I've always maintained that.
Okay, good. All right, well, we're good off Furiosa, so let's move on here. So, Nick, my next one on my list was Wizard of Oz. I was actually going to downtrend it. I thought it kind of deserves to be in the 7.8 to the 8s. We haven't had an 8.3 combined right now, where on our sheet, it's kind of high. You know, we kind of gave it its due diligence pandering score. So now,
we kind of should have listed it. Like, we have to respect this movie.
It's number 9 on our all-timers list, sandwiched in between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Thing. I don't think it's that good. I think it should be kind of like in the Fatal Attraction, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, New Jack City. I think it should be maybe above New Jack City and maybe below Planes, Trains, and Fatal Attraction, honestly.
I don't know if it should be above New Jack City. I'm at an 8.4 right now. I'd be willing to go down to an 8. Easy. Maybe a 7.9.
Oh, yeah, because you were the higher one on that one, right?
I'm not comfortable taking it out of the 8s, but I'll go from an 8.4 to an 8 easily.
But Wizard of Oz, let's just put it potentially. You're going to an 8, and maybe I'll bump it down to a 7.7, potentially. But we'll see what the rest of the bargaining table looks like.
I think that's comfortable.
So it's not set in stone, just noting it down.
I want to take one that is already low, but I think it should go lower.
Oh.
And that's Black Moon Rising. So, I put it at a 1.9, you put it at a 2.7. That puts it at a 2.3. James, re-listening to this movie deserves to be with Bullet in the low ones. It does. This movie is kind of like nothing.
It is kind of nothing, but Bullet pissed us off. That's the difference, in my opinion.
The more I listened to Black Moon Rising, the more it did upset me with how poorly this movie was constructed. I would like to go from a 1.9 to a flat 1.
Me personally, I'm okay with it being a 2.3. But I understand where you're coming from.
You need to go back and re-listen to this. We didn't praise anything in that movie. I want you to understand that. We had nothing positive to say in that movie. We liked the building to building car jump.
It gave us one funny thing when that deaf guy got hit by the car. That made us laugh.
Picked up by the street sweeper.
Yeah, that was good.
Is that enough for 2.3 though? We've punished movies for more.
We have. Let's put that one on the back burner. Can I also bring up a movie that may possibly get nerfed in its score?
Nerf me.
I think we went a little softball on BMX Bandits.
We did.
I think we
treated it like a decom, and it's
worse than a decom. Minutemen at least had a story to it. BMX Bandits was like nothing, and we really softballed it at a 6.05, meaning it's better than Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is not that great, but the production value of Temple of Doom, night and day.
I would reconsider BMX Bandits to a 4.
Yeah, I would
flat 4.
However, we need to divide this up. So what score does BMX Bandits need to be? Like overall?
4.2. A 4.2.
Okay. So BMX Bandits should be at least a 4.2. Let's move on to the next topic. We'll decide who's going to re-rank and for what. I'm going to talk about a buff here. Dial of Destiny, I think, should be higher. Now, I know this is a freshie. Nick, you were a little bit more harsh on it. This was your lowest rated Indiana Jones movie. My lowest was Temple, then Crystal Skull, then Dial of Destiny. How do you feel? How do you feel about the overall score? The overall score for Dial of Destiny is 6.35.
I think that's good.
Okay. Because that does still have Temple of Doom at the lowest, but I think it should be at least Crystal Skull level, like high 6s.
No, I would strongly disagree that Dial of Destiny meets the standard of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Crystal Skull had a
Standard
lot.
Crystal Skull.
It's not a high standard, but it's a standard. Damn it.
All right, well that's fine. What do you got? What's next on your list?
For me, I would like to revisit New Jack City at a 7.7.
Is this going up or down?
It goes up. I think New Jack City, after everything we've viewed this season, should be in the 8s. Really? I would re-rank New Jack City into like an 8.2 personally.
Can you elaborate more on that? Because I feel very comfortable where it's at 7.7. Because I have things that bring it into the 7s.
Absolutely, and I totally understand that. And again, I went back, re-listened to a lot of stuff. I think Nino Brown is one of the better characters that we have had in this season of movies. I think he's highly compelling. I think the movie pacing and plot is highly compelling. I think Ice-T is very good. There were plot holes. It was the biggest thing is it was overly tropey. Right, the buddy,
that's what really brings it down for me.
It was very tropey, but I think 1991 buddy cop tropey. It was more towards the beginning of it. I give it a few more passes for the cheese factor, but I think going back and listening to the music,
we're re-ranking. Yeah, we are
re-ranking.
Passes given. No passes given, Nick.
Not passes, but as I've gone,
this is serious.
As I've watched the other movies we've watched this season, we have given passes to some other movies for the trope in exchange for very good character development and good plot. And I think Nino Brown's character is a top 5 character, maybe even a top 3 character that we have had in our movies this year. That's my personal feeling.
Okay, so you want to buff New Jack City. For me personally, I'm okay with it being a 7.7 because the things that bothered me was actually Ice-T's acting, and it kind of slipped into cookie cutter action sequences when the best parts are when you're making your own, you have your own voice to make your own movie. Don't slip me into a generic 90s action movie shootout and just people whipping out guns. It's like you have so much going for you with the characters. Don't dumb it down with that crap. That's coming from a guy who loves action crap.
See, but we gave Four Brothers a 7.2, and that was so much tropey.
Well, that was probably my fault. I gave it a 7.2. It's a 6.15 on average.
Yeah, it's a 6.15. I'm just saying we've given that pass before, even with the tropey. Look, all I'm saying is Ice-T just wants to shoot you so bad that his dick is hard. Okay, like what's so bad about that?
There's a lot, lots of wrong with that. Nick, my last movie, I would want you to reconsider changing your score. Possibly Return to Oz. I think we need to buff it. Like it should be a little bit better. This is more accurate to the books. The practical effects, the special effects are really good. It's very faithful to the source material. And I don't think it's as bad as being in the 4s. I would say maybe low 6s, high 5s. Because currently it is a 4.445, right below Evil Dead 2. And right above Wind Talkers. I think this is better than My Brother the Pig, which is at a 5. And Cutthroat Island.
I will raise it a tad. I will get it to the low 5s for you. The fact that you gave it a 6.69 tells me it was so bad it was good. It just tickled your funny bone. If you wanted to just be a break off of the source material, you should not have referenced the original 1939's Wizard of Oz. The fact that you thought you had to sit back and rest on those laurels.
The 2.2 that you gave it? Because that was super harsh, I think.
It was super harsh. Because
I think your rating should be at least like 4.
I'll get it to the low 5s. That is the bargaining that I will do. I'm going to bring Romancing the Stone.
So is this up or down? Is this up or down?
This is gonna be up, and this is a personal thing. You gave no. Hold on.
This is not going up.
You gave this a 6.2.
I did.
I gave it a 5.
Okay,
that gives it a 5.6,
which I'm fine with.
I think your score is fine.
Yeah.
This is a personal thing. I'm not asking you to move. I'm saying I want to move because I think this deserves to be a flat 6. I think this deserves to be on the exact same plane as Temple of Doom and at the exact and over a movie like BMX Bandits, which at
Well, if we
roll,
nerf BMX Bandits, that would fix that
right,
problem, which seems like we're gonna do.
It is what we're gonna do. So I think this deserves to be right there at the Temple of Doom ranking. I believe
right above
it
the
deserves
fifth
to
element,
be
right
above the fifth element. So
okay,
I'm going to. So I'm not asking you to raise your romancing. I'm going to raise my romancing. I want to get your agreement. Romancing the Stone should be a 6. It's a fairly fine adventure movie.
So here's where we're going to run into an issue. We have 3 re-rankings each. So right now we're planning on re-ranking your Furiosa, your Wizard of Oz, maybe your BMX Bandits, your Return to Oz, possibly. So we're already at 5 for you. Or it could be co-op. Or it could just be co-op. It could just be co-op. Maybe I sacrifice mine and you could just have them.
I'm saying I sacrificed a couple.
I
hate Return to Oz. I think it's trash, but I'll raise it up for you.
You know what? 6 movies as a team. We're throwing the rule out the window. So, Nick, where we're going to land at is you're going to raise your rating for Furiosa to 8.9.
Yep, that's fine.
Wizard of Oz, we feel strongly that it should be 7.9 or 8.
7.9.
I'm personally leaning 7.9. Okay.
Yeah.
I can go lower or you can go lower.
I think we should both lower to a 7.9. I'll match you.
All right. We're both going 7.9. You're going 7.9. BMX, we want it to land in the 4.2 range.
I'll give it a flat 4.
So who went higher on that one? You went higher on that one.
I was.
I'll give it a flat 4.
Okay. I'll give it a 4.3.
New Jack City. We want to buff it.
We don't have to move that one.
You're comfortable at 7.7?
Sure.
Okay, New Jack City's off the table. Return. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I just think it didn't deserve a 2 from you, but I'll leave that one up to you, buddy.
I'll buff it up a little bit. We'll give it a 3.
All right, Return. Nick is changing it to a 3. Romancing the Stone, we want it to be a 6. I gave it a 6.2. Nick, you want to give it a
5.9?
Maybe we'll both change it. Let's just meet in the middle at 6. We agree it's a 6.
I'll meet at a 6. Yeah.
Perfect. Pleasure doing business with you, Nick. I love it.
Yeah.
Good bargaining with you. So now it's time to move on to the grand finale of the pregame. We're going to move on to our final section of the night, which is going to be and the nominees are. So all of our mini pops, they build up to this grand finale of the wrap party. And we had the best of the best. We had the worst of the worst. We're going to start out, as we always do with mini pops, with the best weapon. Nick, I made a tier list of all the best weapons we named of the year in the movies we watched. Share that screen. Let's look at this tier list and let's decide finally what the best weapons are. All right, Nick. So we have our tier list. We have our categories. I've named the categories from S tier to F tier. Top tier is going to be Planet Killer. Second tier is going to be Carnage. Third tier is going to be Lethal. Fourth tier is going to be It Hurts. And fifth tier is Only Deadly in the Right Hands. So starting out with Indy's Whip, I think it's going to be in the hurt category for me personally.
I might even say Only Deadly in the Right Hands. Whips are very hard to control, and I feel like I haven't seen a whip outside of Indy's.
But it does hurt.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't hurt.
so you can see other things on this list that you might say, yeah, compared to that, I'd rather take that over a whip. But we can throw it wherever. So we can workshop these as we go. So you can go.
We'll start with Hurts
or right.
We'll throw it into the Hurts donut.
Nick, next up we have the New Jack City Uzi. Right away, I'm going Lethal.
I'm going big time Lethal. I'm in on that. Big Lethal on the Uzi.
Representing Romancing the Stone, we have Jack T. Colton's shotgun, which holds at least 11 rounds. Has 11 shells in that bad boy. Is this better than a new Jack Uzi, or is this worse than a new Jack Uzi? Uzis are tough, but Jack T.
It's lethal bordering on carnage in Jack T. Colton's hands.
Okay, so we're leaning high lethal. Let's put it above Uzi right now.
You want it in carnage or lethal?
We'll stick with lethal. We'll see if we get what we get for carnage. Moving on to the fourth movie we watched on the year, which was Daredevil. We have Daredevil's cane / baton / grapples. So they are utility actually as well. I'm leaning, well, I don't know, guns. It's not Daredevil necessarily using them. It's anybody using them. So it might be in the Hurts category actually.
It might be. It could also be lethal in the right hands because his cane in a normal person's hand, like a gun in a normal person's hands, is still pretty lethal.
Well, what if they don't know how to shoot a grapple and they're shot his ass?
Yeah, but if you pull a trigger, you're going to hurt somebody. I'm saying a grapple batons. Like if I have batons and I go attack somebody, it ain't quite the same. So I'll keep it in Hurts. I would put
it above the whip personally. I don't know how you feel. I think smacking someone with baton takes less skill than whipping someone with a whip.
It takes less skill. I'm not sure what hurts. Whips.
That would leave
hurt.
a mark.
Yeah, leave a lash.
Nick, I think we started officially tracking these during our fifth movie of the year we watched, which was Cimarron. We have the Yancey 6-shooters. Where are these going? Probably lethal.
These do be lethal. He has marks on them. He has killed, I think, at least 7 people that we are
below
aware
Uzi. All the guns are going to be in lethal, I think. Below Uzi, not as efficient. Okay, representing the sixth movie we watched on the year, it's going to be The Indian in the Cupboard. We have Little Bear's Bow and Arrow. What do we feel about this one?
Little Bear's Bow and Arrow. Now, since it's Little Bear's and he's small, I might go on a low Hurts, like he got stung by a bee.
It is small. It is size accurate because he's about 3 inches tall. It might even be only lethal in the right person's hands.
Yeah, but I guess it's only lethal
to little people.
Other little people.
And by little people, we mean like body snatch people.
Figurines. Yeah.
Figurines.
This just goes Hurts.
Where's he go on the Hurts row?
Low Hurts. The lowest of Hurts. Yeah.
All right, Nick. Moving on to the next movie we watched on the year, which was Smoke Signals. Not a lot of weapons in this movie, but we named Arnold's abusive father's fists as the best weapon. Where did these rank?
I think these hurt here and here.
But physically, do they hurt more than a small bow and arrow that a figurine would shoot at you, or are they above that?
Yeah, I think so. I think they hurt. They're in between whip and a figurine's bow and arrow.
Okay. Unfortunately,
are you comfortable with that?
Father's fist, yep, are in between Indy's whip and Little Bear's bow and arrow.
We should have had emotionally devastating as a category.
Moving on to Temple list. Representing Temple of Doom, we have the Shanghai Shish Kebab. So you might be looking at that photo and thinking, "What is that?" It's the only screenshot I can find of that guy who got stabbed with that sword full of meat that was on fire.
This might be a right hand situation because I don't think the opportunity presents itself very often.
But wasn't it like a sword? Or was it just a really sharp, big rod?
I'm having a hard time remembering. I think
this is only deadly in the right hand. It's too much. Yeah. You got meat on there. It's on fire. Indy's just built different, and he stabbed that Shanghai gangster with it. I think it's only deadly in the right hands.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. All right, Nick. This is going to be probably in the gun section. This is going to be Lenny's Beretta from Memento. Now, if you remember, this is the specific gun in the flashback where he sharp shot the 2 intruders that were assaulting his wife. Headshot. Lenny is got a shot on him. And this Beretta, what do you think? Above the 6 shooters?
Exactly. Yeah. 6 shooters are not as accurate And so I think this is between the Uzi. The Uzi's just a DPS kind of weapon,
Yeah.
And
that's damage per second
damage,
if you're not a gamer.
Yeah. So I think that just has to be right there.
All right, well, representing Black Moon Rising, we have the Black Moon vehicle itself. And if you remember, it is made of Kelvar, not Kevlar, but incorrectly, or maybe they didn't want to impede on. Is Kevlar a brand name, or is that just a material?
Yeah, well, it might be a copyright thing or a trademark. I don't know.
Anywho, this is bulletproof because it is made of Kelvar, apparently. So this is another interesting one because Sam Quint, Tommy Lee Jones, he did run over a guy with it. So that would hurt. Does it hurt more than an abusive father's fist or a whip or a baton?
Emotionally,
it can
no.
Be lethal.
Physically, yes.
It is a very fast car, so it could be lethal. And it does have defense on its side. So it's got a well-balanced offensive defensive going for it.
It has less of a kill count, so I might put this on the lowest lethal tier for now.
That's fair. I was going to go high hertz, but I think since it is a rocket car, I think it is low lethal.
Yeah, it's kind of right there in the middle.
Would it be easier to kill someone driving at them 260 miles an hour or hitting them with batons?
Depends on how shifty they are.
I'm going to go Black Moon. All right. Representing Solo, A Star Wars Story, we have Emphas Ness Electra Ripper Staff. Now, if you remember, this thing could cut through metal like it was a lightsaber, but it also had this shockwave effect where it can blow back enemies. Now, it's a Disney Star Wars movie, so we didn't see any murders happen with it, but we did name it the best weapon of Solo, A Star Wars Story. What do we think?
I think potentially this could be some carnage.
I think so too. It cuts through metal. This could be total carnage.
Cutting through metal, and then the shockwave effect in the real world, in you and I and our listeners' world. If that weapon existed, carnage.
Okay, our first carnage entry. Moving down to another strong entry representing Buckaroo Banzai. We have the thermal pod railgun. This is easily carnage for me. I don't think it's planet killer.
High carnage.
I don't think we'll have much planet killers, but we have to have a scale. This isn't the dunk contest where everything's a 10. We have to be realistic. I think the railgun is easily a top tier weapon.
Carnage. Yeah.
It took down the whole big Electroid ship. It was like nothing.
Yeah.
It was an escape pod, and it was armored with that.
We didn't get to see its full potential. It might be planet killing, but what we do know for a fact is it's heavy carnage.
Bringing it back down to Earth, quite literally, more specifically Detroit, representing four brothers, we have Bobby Mercer's Colt 70. Now, this is no Uzi, but it is large and badass. It's got some hate in its heart, this gun.
I think it's one step below the Uzi, one step above Lenny's pistol.
Okay. I agree with that. I think it's Uzi's just too efficient for its DPS, but this one means something when you pull the trigger. It's got revenge in its shells. All right, well, we went from Bobby to Bommy because representing Furiosa, we have the Bommy Knocker. Now, this is kind of more of a defensive weapon, but it does do a lot of carnage on a guy.
This is carnage.
Above Electro Ripper or...
No, because the Electro Ripper could destroy the Bomby Knocker. But the Bomby Knocker, do not get it twisted, is a carnage mobile.
Yeah, and you kind of have to fall into its trap. It's more of a defensive, offensive weapon. So yeah, low carnage. I agree.
All right, James. All right. Now here's going to be...
This is going to get weird.
This is about...
Representing
territory.
The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, the best weapon that we could come up with was the pants themselves. Did they hold magical powers by twisting fate in a weird way?
If these pants truly decide the fate of human beings, we're talking limitless power here, James. It's scary power, like power not comprehensible to the human mind. It goes beyond carnage. Now, here's the question, though. You have to be able to fit into them, right? That was a big thing. Everybody looked good in the pants. Those pants, this guy, not going to work.
Work for Carmen, who is a proud Puerto Rican, who has an ass.
I'm shaped like a cut in half pear.
The pants would fit you, Nick, and they would fulfill your dreams.
That's scary to me, though. And so we have to consider that.
We can consider that, but I feel like it puts more positive into the world than negative. The pants doesn't seem like an entity that wishes to be the problem they wish to see in the world. That seems like they want to be the solution they want to see in the world. For that reason,
they brought a girl forward to be submitted to statutory rape. So I just want to be clear on that.
So that's not good. That is not good. But because of that very reason, I think it is only deadly in the right hands, because the evil person, I don't think it's like a magic lamp. I don't think it grants wishes. It just guides you where to need to be. I think on the surface, it is only deadly in the right hands. It is low deadly in the right hands, below the shish kebab.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. I don't. I think you're underestimating the pants a little bit.
Another weird one representing Leonard Part 6. We have the rainbow trout, the rabid rainbow trout. Actually, this did kill a guy.
This is lethal. I think
this is a mind-controlled fish that acted like a piranha, a lone piranha. And yeah, I think it is lethal. The question is it better than some guns or a car?
No, because it's subjected to the water, right? It's confined
specific. You have to be in a pool. Yeah, because it swam through the sewer system of San Francisco and ate up a guy in his pool.
Yeah. Now, I think this has a higher kill count than the Black Moon. So the question is, where do we put it? Do we put it below or above the Black Moon?
We're talking potential.
How many people are in this water, though?
And if you're not in water, is it still effective? Like if you throw it at a guy, is it going to like flop around and bite his ankles off, you know?
It'll try, but it'll probably be unsuccessful. Let's put it at low lethal. The lowest lethal.
Okay.
I mean, we know it's lethal. It killed a man.
We do know it's lethal, but okay. Low lethal. All right. Representing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, we picked the wrong grail. It accelerated a homeboy's age past death and killed a guy.
It's an insta kill. There's no question. You can't you don't survive it.
So the only caveat is you have to elect to drink from it.
Right.
Unless you are forcing it down someone's gullet.
That'd be vicious. I do think this is lethal, but the lethality is 100%. Right? It's not like a gun where I kind of clipped the guy. He's still alive. Like this is 100% kill confirmed if you do partake of this. It is the highest, again, confirmed kill.
Yeah, the accuracy is high.
100%. It's 100% accuracy. There's no there's a 0.01% chance you survive this. It's a 0% survival rate. So the question is, where does that land then on the lethal?
So kind of like the trout, it depends on the situation. I think it's better than the trout.
I think it's better than the Black Moon. I'll put it below the actual firearms. How about that?
How about let's do that. Because it is situational. Speaking of the same type of vibe, we have another don't ingest that object. Representing Bullet, we have the poisoned heroin. So that is another situational thing, which is it is lethal, but you have to elect to do the heroin. So is this wrong grail territory here?
This might be the lowest lethal.
Yeah, because you have to. I don't know how you do heroin, if you smoke it or whatever you do. You can throw the trout at somebody, it might do some damage. Heroin, you throw that someone's way, they're going to be like, what is that?
The heroin is highly elective. The grail is also elective, but it calls to you like the mines.
It's more deceptive.
You know?
Oh, yeah. The allureness of it.
Yeah, okay. There's no allure for me. Like if I'm a human being and they're like, hey, I have the Holy Grail here. If you drink from it, you live forever. I'm like, oh, there's a benefit there. If someone's like, you want some heroin? I'm like, no. I would never fall prey to the heroin. I understand its lethality.
Representing Electra, we have Electra's size. So this is a pair of daggers. She's very effective with them. How effective would they be in a regular Joe Schmo's hands, however?
Joe Schmo's hands, I think it's a high hertz.
I think
I'm
it's
not
high
quite sure
hertz.
they're lethal. I think it's very high hertz.
Above batons?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, because they're pointy. You know, like if a guy jumped onto a New York City subway with size and started swinging them, he definitely hurt some people. I
feel like
think
with
eventually
batons,
he'd get taken down.
You can kind of block your shit. Like put up a backpack and you'd be fine. Size might pierce your skin. Nick, we're about to enter more odd territory here because representing BMX bandits, we have the BMX bicycle itself.
Deadly in the right hands, maybe?
Bottom tier. This bottom tier. Is it better than
worse
pants?
Than the pants? Nah.
What?
The pants have sentience. The bike doesn't.
Or you can suffocate somebody with the pants.
Yeah,
I guess granted you can also like beat someone to death with a bike, but it'd be pretty hard.
Yeah, if somebody tried to beat me to death with a bike, I feel like I'd be able to stop that from happening.
If someone choked you out with a pair of jeans, or they use their evil powers to wish you were dead, better chance with the bike.
Yeah, the jeans.
Okay,
all right, James. Let's get real.
This is gonna be tough. So I had this tier list in mind. I had what I want to do with it on the next episode in mind. You were very adamant for the Wizard of Oz for the falling house to be the best weapon. And I said, how do you control that? And you simply said, you don't. So how do you weaponize this? It did kill the Wicked Witch of the West. So
yeah, and that's where I might say this is
definitely
just
hurts.
Straight up, this is just it's more than hurts. It is way more than hurts. This might just be like pure, unadulterated, very low tier carnage.
No.
House?
No, carnage is
house? Like... Carnage is what? Killing multiple people?
But for the falling house, you have to be like under it and you can see it coming. I feel like if someone had a railgun...
I don't think you could see it coming because the Wicked Witch did not see this house coming. I don't think it's like, a house is coming. Move out of the way, dude. Step to the left and you avoid the house.
I'll put it below Bobby Knocker on Carnage. How about that?
That's exactly where I want it. The lowest tier of Carnage.
Okay. That is quite the upset in my mind. But Falling House from the Wizard of Oz is low Carnage.
Dude. It is... Like, if that happened in your neighborhood, you'd be like, holy fuck, that is some carnage. Like, if a house came falling down and just, like, destroyed, that's... You wouldn't describe that as like, wow, that happened. That was lethal. You'd be like, dude, there's some carnage going on down the street. What happened?
Someone's house just fell in some other guy's house.
House just came flying out of the sky with reckless abandon and killed everyone in its path. That's carnage, dude.
Well, representing the sequel to that carnage is going to be Return to Oz, similar to the pants situation, magical clothes. We have the ruby red slippers themselves. Now, we know for a fact these have magical powers. However, I feel like you kind of need to be a wizard magic person to wield them.
It basically let the Rock King take over the entire land. I don't think we can underestimate the power of these slippers.
Yeah.
The Rock King was about to turn everyone into an inanimate object with them. A fate worse than death.
They did not die because they did get brought back to life, however.
So this might be lethal in the right hands. Deadly in the right hands.
Only deadly in the right hands? I think so. I'd be willing to put it high, deadly, above the shish kebab.
Yeah. I think if it's the highest deadly in the right hands.
It is going to be Infinity Gauntlet status. Representing the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, we have the Nazca Graveyard Guard's Blow Dart. Now, Indiana Jones used this blow dart against the guard himself. Where do we think this one goes? I'm leaning hurts.
Did it kill Did it kill the? I didn't kill the guard,
So,
right?
so we said that it killed him, but after I rewatched it might be one of those things. If it was a tranquilizer dart, then maybe it just incapacitated the guy.
It might be
So
like
then
one of
maybe-
those like tree frog poisons that just like paralyzes you.
The only weird thing is that since it shot backwards into Homeboy's throat, like the blunt end, the tail, which I don't know if it has any poison, it did stab him in the back of the throat. But it's an Indiana Jones. Well, he does kill people. I'm going to lean
killed
towards
a lot
Hertz.
of people.
I'm going to lean towards Hertz. I think it requires skill, so it might be below the fists,
but above the miniature bow.
Above the miniature bow.
I live with that.
I'm seeing the theme here. I'm seeing the theme here. Guns lethal, melee is Hertz, and weird shit is Carnage. Okay. This is going to be a pretty lame one from our Disney Channel original movie, Minutemen. We have Derek's football.
This is the lowest deadly in the right hand. No, it might be lowest Hertz. This might be lower than the bow. Because it's not deadly at all.
This is only deadly in the right hands.
Deadly?
Only deadly in the right hands, which means it is not guaranteed to be deadly. In the words of Ron Swanson, this clipboard in my hands is more lethal than that landmine in yours. Someone can figure out a way to kill somebody with the right amount of creativity.
You can kill somebody with anything, but
exactly.
It's
only deadly in the right
lowest.
hands.
It is the lowest tier of anything on this list.
Below the BMX bike. Okay, it's the lowest.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Moving on, we have the Fatal Attraction kitchen knife. I'm thinking it's going to be a melee row. I'm thinking it might be Hertz. We never got any kills with it.
We're talking potential, though, is lethal. So
that's true. It is potential.
I guess potential of the Psy as well is pretty lethal. I'll put it up in Hertz, high Hertz.
Yeah, well, we could put size in lethal and the kitchen knife just below or above the trout, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
I'll do that. And I'll say the Psys are a little more deadly because they're double wield.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Okay, I like where this is going.
Okay. Yeah, me too. This is comfy for me.
Okay, now we're getting into we've transitioned into spooky season via Fatal Attraction. Now we have 1971's Duel. We have the Peterbilt 281.
This is some carnage, bro.
I think it is an oil tanker, so it could potentially explode and blow up the joint. So I think it could be in a carnage row.
I think it's the lowest carnage. I think it does less damage than a falling
below the house. That falls on your head. Okay, I agree. Moving on to It Follows. We chose sex as the most dangerous weapon because it played into the rules of that movie. However, potentially in a generic form, how do we feel about sex as a weapon?
Planet killer.
Because we keep reproducing.
It's universal, bro.
I think this is only deadly in the right hands. Hopefully it doesn't hurt.
I don't even want it to be deadly in the right hands. I hope it's just not. I'm going to put that the lowest.
It's below the football?
I mean...
Well,
it could
I'll
be
tell you what,
Jack Frost, it could be Hertz, depending on the STD.
Jack Frost did kill a lady by banging her to death. So sex was a weapon in that movie.
Should it be Hertz? Sex shouldn't hurt, but depending on the instance...
I think high above the slippers. It outranks the slippers.
So it's the highest deadly in the right hands. Sex.
Yep. That's where we're
in the right hands. Sex is okay. I'm good.
Moving on to Killer Clowns. We have the cotton candy gun. So if you shoot this at somebody, they instantly turn into a cotton candy pod. And we can only assume that they're dead because they just become like, I think the blood vessels and their internal organs just explode and they just become giant gelatinous blood sacs. This is definitely lethal.
This is definitely lethal. It
could be carnage.
I think it's carnage because of the kill count we saw with it. They basically are turning planets into that. borders on Planet Killer for me.
Honestly, I'm above Bombing Knocker, maybe even above Electro Ripper Staff, maybe below it.
I'm above the Ripper Staff because this thing seems to be flawless and it kind of tracks people. And there's no coming back.
It's got aimbot.
It does have that aimbot.
I think, okay, just because it is a projectile weapon, it can go above Electro Ripper Staff. It cannot go above Railgun.
I almost want to put this on Planet Killer because these clowns have clearly taken over planets before with this weaponry. But I'll keep it in Carnage. But this weapon might be the most powerful thing we've ever seen.
I think pound for pound, that would be true. But we're going to move on to the Evil Dead series, Evil Dead 1 and 2. We have Ash Williams' chainsaw arm. This is interesting.
Highly
this is
lethal.
melee, but I think the potential it has could be Carnage, but compared to our Carnage row, I don't know if it's that.
I think this is lethal just below all of the guns. The guns have the
Jack T. Colton shotty
range
is
factor.
just way too OP.
I would like to put it between the guns
and the Grail.
And the Grail. Yeah.
I agree. Moving on to the Dial of Destiny, we have a stick of dynamite.
Ooh. Yeah. Definitely lethal.
Just one stick.
Definitely very lethal.
Yeah, it's a lethal boy. It might be... Is it more dangerous than the chainsaw? Because you only get one shot with
range
it.
That it has. Dynamite has a huge range. You know what I mean? It's concussive. It's powerful. I think it's above the chainsaw.
Below Yancey's 6-shooters?
Yeah.
Or above?
Just below.
Okay.
I think you have a chance to
are
outrun the dynamite. You know what I mean? If you see a dynamite stick going, you have like 7 seconds to sprint as far away as possible.
You can also outrun a chainsaw,
rate.
and you can outrun a Grail, but you can't outrun the Black Moon. So what do we have to say about that?
Well, the depends. You run out of tap water, and the Black Moon is useless. And it's so heavy with all that Kelvar. You know?
Thank you. All right. We're going to round it out with our last two movies. I think we picked Del Griffith's Cigarette from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It set their car on fire, which is mini Carnage, but I think Cigarette as a weapon, it's definitely bottom 2 tiers at some point. It's like, would that...
Smoking is killing James.
What's going to hurt more? Getting pricked with a lit cigarette or getting pricked with Little Bear's bow and arrow? I'm kind of like...
I think the cigarette.
Little Bear's bow and arrow might be only deadly in the right hands. Honestly, now the more I think about it.
Yeah, the cigarette hurts way more than the bow and arrow. For sure.
I think so.
Getting a cigarette put out on you.
So I think with that, like, they both might be bottom tier. Or are you going to go Hurts?
Yeah. I'm going to go Hurts on having a cigarette put out on you. Yeah, big time Hurts. And then, James, we're going to wrap this up.
With Jack Frost, the best weapon we chose for Jack Frost was the kryptonite for the mutant snowman, which was a car additive known as antifreeze. This is really just a kryptonite for Jack Frost when we get to the tournament in the next episode. But where do we rank it on a surface level potentially?
If we're talking about the off-gassing of chemicals, it's a planet killer, James.
But how about a jug?
But no.
Just a singular jug.
No, jug. Now, here's the thing.
16, 12 tops.
It is highly lethal.
It might be kind of like poison heroin status then, I think. But here's the
only
thing.
to the right person.
If you were to fight somebody, would you rather be handed a jug of antifreeze or batons?
Or a cigarette.
Same thing goes for the heroin, technically.
You can just shove heroin in someone's face, like
you can
Jack
use
Black's
offensively,
character,
I guess.
like Jack Black's character in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, that's true.
It's maybe
tier for
deadly
me.
in the
Bottom
right.
tier for me.
It's super bottom tier. Between the football and the bike,
is it better than magical slippers Or shish kebab? I think below shish kebab.
Definitely not better
pants.
than shish kebab.
Above pants, below shish kebab.
All right.
I'm comfortable with that. Well, there you have it.
Here's the tier list, James.
Ladies and gentlemen, on paper, Nick, please do the honors. Tell us what the best weapon of 2024 was that we saw at the movies.
The best weapon of 2024 was the railgun in the escape pod from Buckaroo Banzai.
Not surprised.
You heard it here first.
Honestly,
pretty
kind of
OP.
thought that's where I was going to go. Yeah, the railgun was insane. It was insane. Well, we've done the tier list for the best weapon. Let's name some other nominees for our final episode. We're going to get into our MVCs. I tasked you with bringing 8 to the table, but it seems like our crossovers are Nino Brown, Short Round, Henry Jones Sr., and Del Griffith.
I mean, just top tier dudes.
Those are our 4 nominees, and we will discuss off screen and reveal our most valuable character in the final episode. It's time to reveal the biggest piece of shit bracket. Nick, let's go ahead and bring up our bracket. We've done it a little bit differently this year. We did predetermine the rankings, so it's no surprise to you. Do you want to go ahead and just list off our psycho/sociopaths that we have chosen, starting from 1 to 8, and give a small description of who they are, what movie they're from, and why they suck.
Rounding up the number 1 overall seed is Dementis from Furiosa. He's insane. He steals a child, puts her into a life of marauding. He's a psychopath, and all he cares about is his own power. He goes ahead and he raids Morton Joe's citadel and loses a bunch of people, doesn't care, and then he takes over the Bullet Farm. He's just an insane man. He's an insane man.
Yeah.
Number 2 in the psychopath realm is Nino Brown. We talked about him. He's the whole reason that I wanted to re-rank New Jack City. He is insane. He has killed everyone around him. He tells everybody around him that everything is business, not personal, but it's all personal. It's all personal, and he goes ahead and he watches everybody around him go down. He even starts pegging people as the guilty party when he's on trial. He has no remorse. Yeah.
Don't forget that story of how he beat up a kid with a baseball bat and then poured gasoline on them and lit him on fire. How crazy is it that he's an MVC nom and also a number 2 seed in the biggest piece of shit bracket? Pretty crazy.
He's the whole reason I wanted to re-rank the movie. It's quite the compelling character. Number 3 from Cimarron, we have Yancey. Yancey, my goodness. I don't even know where to start. Straight sociopath, does not care about his wife. He's been banging a prostitute allegedly the whole time. He runs off. He pretends to care about the Native Americans, but he doesn't. He takes over a church. He Joel Osteen's it. Yeah, he's a whole piece of work. I don't even know where to start. We'll get into him a little later.
Number 4.
Number 4 is the truck driver from Duel. He has no rhyme or reason. He has
unhinged.
He has chosen our protagonist, and he wants him dead. Period. There's nothing. There's nothing other than pure death and destruction. Number 5, we have Jack Frost, who quite literally is a serial killer who then becomes an immortal snowman. So that tells you everything.
That's crazy. We put him at 5. Actually, that's crazy. He's the 5th strongest.
He might be the most OP character that we've had in this season. Number 6 is Dr. Lizardo from The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. He has stuck his head into the 8th dimension. He has been taken over, and now he is just set on destroying the Earth. He's quite literally insane, but he's also super overpowered because he does kill Jonathan Banks with one hand. He snaps his neck. He's a problem. He's a problem. Do not get it twisted. He's a 6th seed, but do not overlook him. Number 7 is Dr. Voller from Dial of Destiny. Dr. Voller has held on to his Nazi ways all the way from the Nazi days when he got bested by Indiana Jones, went to work for the United States government, kind of did an Oppenheimer thing going on there. Did not forget his Nazi heritage.
He said it's Oppenheimer.
He said it's Oppenheimer. to go ahead and take the dial of destiny. He is insane. He's a psychopath. Yeah, and then number 8, we have Alex Forrest from Fatal Attraction. She is an underdog. She has murdered rabbits. She has attacked people with knives. She does not have a firm grip on reality. And that really puts you into a psychopath role when you don't really understand. You can't really differentiate between reality and your fantasies. So she is dangerous. And she goes up against Dementus in round 1. Dementus better watch his back.
We'll see how that pans out in part 2 of the Wrap Party. In the meantime, Nick, I'm going to go over the roster for the top 8 assholes for the biggest piece of shit bracket. Starting out with the number 1 seed, we have Jumbo, the clown from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This guy's a complete asshole because his killer clown homies were cotton candying, capturing humans, collecting them for their pods of their food supply. This guy was out here just doing curated murders, just going against the plan, just doing weird personal agenda stuff. And honestly, it's unsettling. At the number 2 seed, strong asshole over here, we got Bullseye from Daredevil. This guy is, I described him as you don't mess with the Zohan type character, but he's a giant asshole on top of all that. So very powerful character, very cocky, kills a innocent lady on the plane with some peanuts or raisins because she won't stop talking, kills a bartender, a bar owner with a paperclip just because he called him like a dirty Irishman or something. This guy abuses his powers, complete asshole, not okay. Number 3, we got the Wicked Witch / Miss Gulch from The Wizard of Oz. So Miss Gulch wanted to imprison Dorothy and I believe kidnap her dog or have the dog. Oh no, she wanted to kill the dog. She wanted to have the dog quote unquote destroyed for Toto. And Wicked Witch, who is the variant of Miss Gulch in the Land of Oz, she wanted to basically foil the plans of Scarecrow, Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and Dorothy. Threw a fireball at Scarecrow. He's very flammable. Pretty big asshole move of her. For number 4, we have Teddy from Memento. This is the guy who exploited Lenny's anterograde amnesia to basically help him out, carry out killings of criminals, and manipulate and gaslight Lenny, who is got a handicap for his memory and just wanted to use that for his personal agenda. Number 5, we have Dr. Elsa Schneider. She's a Nazi. So just like Jack Frost being a psycho serial killer, being at the 5th spot, we got a crazy Nazi lady at the 5th spot over here. She is a 2-timing, double-crossing son of a gun. Flips on Indy, flips on her boss, and ultimately goes for the Holy Grail in a very selfish move, and it is her downfall. Number 6, we got Patrick. If you don't know who Patrick is, he's this little whiny bitch kid who is a complete asshole to Omri in The Indian in the Cupboard. Very whiny, wants to play God with the people. He wants to body snatch more people and steal more souls from displaced timelines, just so that he can keep them as pets. So he's got a little bit of a God complex. Rounding it out, bottom 2, we got Princess Mombi from Return to Oz. She cuts off people's heads and keeps them in lockers and wears them around weirdly, and then wants to kidnap Dorothy and farm her so that she can grow older and then cut off her head so that she can wear Dorothy's head. A little bit weird. And finally, for the number 8 spot, we got the lawyer from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles who wanted to upcharge Neil of lending him his taxi cab just because he could.
Pretty dick move.
Now we're going to move on down to the dipshits. Nick, can you please give us our 1 through 8 seeds of the dipshits for the biggest piece of shit of the year?
Top seed. We got Willie Scott from Temple of Doom. She's whiny. She offers nothing. She's constantly complaining. And to be honest, if it was just Indian Short Round, I feel like the movie would have been 30 minutes shorter and our heroes would have prevailed a lot sooner. The number 2 seed of our dipshit bracket is Bullet. All he does when he gets out of jail is drag all of his friends into his life of crime and calls one of them gay. Not cool, dude. Number 3, from Leonard Part 6, we have the Pervy Director. This is a guy who's dating Leonard's daughter,
What
who's
is
2
his
times
name?
her age. Yeah, we don't know his name. We don't care about his name, but he is very creepy. He's banging Leonard's daughter, and then it comes over to his house as the boyfriend, but is Leonard's
surfing.
age. It's weird. Nobody
He's
likes
older.
it. Number 4 is Dr. Nobi from the Evil Dead series. Now, Dr. Nobi has put the incantation that will release the demons on tape and recorded himself saying it so that other people can play it and also release the demons. Why you would do that, Dr. Nobi? Nobody knows. Number 5, we have Zolo from Romancing the Stone. Zolo, after he fails in securing the stone, decides that he's just going to kill the girl who upset his plans and feed her to alligators. Most people know once you've been defeated, you go and regroup. This guy is going to feed a woman to alligators. Pretty big dick move. At number 6, we have Tattoo from Elektra. Really not much going on here, except he just uses his tattoos to hunt people down. Now, he could use his
And
tattoos
perf-cam
for
them.
good, and he perv cams them. At one point, he has his little bird tattoo, watch Elektra all night. What was he hoping to see? We don't know. Number
wanna
7, we have the bar guy from Black Moon Rising. What he thinks he has is Riz. What he really has is sexual assault. He is making everyone uncomfortable in the bar. And even when he is shot down, he's going to look at our hero, Tommy Lee Jones, and say, women, huh? This guy's a problem and has probably assaulted multiple women in his life. At number 8, we have the creep from BMX Bandits. Now, he's never done anything wrong per se. However, he is kind of a rat and a snitch. Honestly, nobody wants him around. And therefore, he is a dipshit on our biggest piece of shit bracket.
And our 4th and final division is going to be the Cowards division. Starting off strong 1 seed, we have Fowler from Four Brothers. Now, this is another 2-time backstabbing son of a bitch because he got Terrence Howard hella dead. Terrence Howard, man, is dead, man, because of Fowler. And Josh Charles played a very convincing asshole / coward / dipshit / psychopath. He's an all-rounder, honestly. The 2 seed, we have Arnold. This is the aforementioned abusive father. Beats his wife, beats up his kid, who's like 8 years old, abandons his family, dies in Arizona, and all of a sudden wants a pity party from beyond the grave. Get the fuck out of here, Arnold.
Piece of shit. Get the fuck out.
No one's got sympathy for you. Rounding the corner, number 3, we have Carmen's dad, a.k.a. Al from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Now, this guy moved away, didn't tell his daughter that he had a second family, and then reveals to his daughter that he's getting married to this second family mother. And we got 2 months to prepare for the wedding. Gives the hem lady, the dress store lady, the wrong size because he doesn't know how thick and beautiful the Puerto Rican Carmen is. And he's just a big coward piece of shit, in our opinion. Moving down to number 4, we got Hugh Jeff, who is from It Follows.
Hugh Jeff.
I don't know if his name's Hugh or Jeff, actually. But he did pass the sex demon on to sweet, innocent little old Jay when he could have totally just passed it on to a prostitute. Pretty big coward move. Either die like a man or don't pass it on to someone who doesn't deserve it. Pretty big coward move there. Number 5, we have Mac from the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. This is another 2-time and backstabber. Just a flip-flopper, flipping sides. Really just only sways in the way that the wind is blowing. Whatever's going to get him out of this sticky situation, and he still fucks it up at the end and gets himself got by some crazy vortex from some interdimensional being spaceship. We have another Indiana Jones character. We got Belloc. He is French. He is siding with the Nazis. He is the anti-Indiana Jones, And honestly, he just pops up at the wrong time after Indiana Jones has done all of his work. Be brave enough to do the work yourself, man. He's coming in at our another number 6 spot. Our number 7 is going to be Derek from Minutemen. Honestly, we had him in Psychosociopath because he has got no remorse, cheats on his girlfriend, and makes the cowardly move to ask his best friend, allegedly best friend Virgil, who he bullied in freshman year, to use his time machine to go back in time to stop his girlfriend from catching him from cheating, not to stop him from cheating.
Gaslighting son of a bitch.
Huge, big cuck energy, coward move. And our final nominee for the biggest piece of shit of the year is one out of left field. It's actually going to be Lando Calrissian from Solo, A Star Wars Story. He kind of got defaulted to the coward bracket because he abandons Han Solo at the end, doesn't want anything to do with the conflict, cheats at the game of Sabacc and takes the Millennium Falcon. And he also fucks robots, which is weird.
Fucks robots.
Bangs bots. And that is your bracket for the biggest piece of shit of the year. We will go through this bracket in part 2 of the Wrap Party. And to finish this whole entire thing off, we have another tier list, which is sticking with conflict. Just like our mini pops, we have the best fighter. Let's sprint home, buddy. Okay, next. So our tiers for the best fighter, we have God level, followed by superhuman, followed by skilled fighter, followed by street level, and our bottom tier is going to be punching bag. So next, starting with Raiders of the Lost Ark, we have First Mechanic, aka Big Nazi. This is Pat Roach. He is 6'5", 275 pounds. He's 44 years old, and this guy is a brawler. What do we think about this guy?
I think he's a skilled fighter.
Okay, let's throw him in that skilled fighter row.
Boom. Easy first one.
New Jack City, we have Keisha. The Uzi was the best weapon. She is the Uzi wielding, honestly, might have the highest kill count in that movie. She point blank killed Fat Smitty. She's ripping Uzi shots, but she does need the gun to really be effective.
I say she's street level. Street level. She showed her worth on the streets.
All right. Street level for the street gal. Representing Romancing the Stone, we have that shotgun wielding Jack T. Colton.
I think he's also street level.
Above Keisha, below Keisha?
I think above Keisha.
Getting real here, we're gonna jump into Daredevil. Representing Daredevil is Daredevil.
Superhuman, for sure. He's superhuman. I think any skilled fighter.
I think he has enhanced abilities. I think he has enhanced abilities.
I think we're going superhuman here.
So Nick, you might notice we have 2 characters from the same movie. For the fighter bracket, we do have 2 wild cards. Representing Daredevil again is going to be Bullseye. He is our one of 2 wild cards.
Yeah, I'd say we go superhuman as well, but a tier below Daredevil because Daredevil has bested him.
He has bested him. I agree.
All right. Moving past that, from Cimarron, James, we do have Yancey.
Best fighter and the biggest piece of shit. Here we go.
He's street level.
Who would win fight? Jack T. Colton or Yancey?
Jack T. Colton. Yeah, for sure.
He's scrappy.
For sure.
So above Keisha?
I think Keisha might take him.
Oh,
to be honest with you.
Yeah, because he's from Kansas City. He ain't from Harlem.
He's from Wichita, you know? I put him below Keisha.
Okay, representing the Indian in the cupboard, we have 3-inch tall, 6 pounds, Little Bear.
I think this is our first punching bag, James.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's being small that doesn't help.
I mean, when you can get stepped on, you don't get to go anywhere but punching bag. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, representing Smoke Signals, we have that abusive father, Arnold. Is he also a punching bag because he punches down? Or is he street level?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, he always punched people lower than him. He might be the lowest street level. Lowest street level.
I was going to say maybe highest punching bag.
I can go either way.
Let's put him in highest punching bag. We'll see how this list develops. Okay, Nick. Now getting real here. Representing Temple of Doom, we have Short Round. NBC
High
nomination.
skilled fighter.
He is a skilled fighter. Is he better than the buff, big 6'5", 275-pound mechanic, however? He's coming in at 4 foot and 80 pounds, and he's 12 years old.
Pound for pound, yeah, better skilled fighter, I'd say.
I agree. Okay, representing Memento, we have Leonard Lenny Shelby. He is 5'11", 155 pounds. He's a scrappy guy. His special abilities is memory loss, and his weakness is lies.
His special ability is memory loss. Mid-skilled fighter. Or no, mid street level. Sorry.
I think street level. Jack T. Colton is our benchmark. Is he taking Jack T. Colton?
I don't think
Lenny
so.
was pretty scrappy.
He was scrappy. I feel like
He was
Jack T.
resourceful.
Colton went off the grid.
He got a little animalistic.
And yeah, he has no problem ripping shots at people. Like, he doesn't need a reason, kind of thing.
All right. Well, representing Black Moon Rising, we have Sam Quint, Tommy Lee Jones. Did you know Tommy Lee Jones played football for Harvard and he was a member of a undefeated 1968 football team? He was named first team All Ivy League selection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a big dude. So he's 6 foot. He's 200 pounds. And his special abilities is that he could take a serious beating because he took a lot of beatings from Lee Ving.
He's high punching bag from Black Moon Rising. He got his ass kicked a lot,
but he is outnumbered. And I think it says something. If you're going 1v3,
I'm saying we have people on this list who have 1v3'd successfully.
Well, let me tell you this. Yancey, he's 6 foot, 180 pounds. Same size as Sam Quint. Sam Quint's got 20 pounds on the guy. Is that muscle? Is that fat? Who knows?
I don't think we ever saw Quint take a life. That's all I'm saying. I just saw him get his ass kicked a lot. But
so he could be below Yancey. I think he's above Arnold.
Right.
Arnold's just abuses people that are less powerful than him.
That's fair.
Okay, now we got Chewbacca, Chewie from Solo, A Star Wars Story. He is 7'6", 247 pounds. He's 190 years old. He is a Wookiee from Kashyyyk. His special ability is that he can rip limbs off.
I think he's low
superhuman. He is superhuman. Yeah. I would put him maybe above Daredevil, honestly.
Daredevil versus Chewie would actually be a fight I would watch.
That'd be interesting. I would put him above Daredevil. Daredevil is still basically a human. He just has like super senses and has great fighting skills, but Chewie's just built different. They just feed him differently down there. Okay, so representing Buckaroo Banzai, we have Buckaroo Banzai. It's Buckaroo Banzai.
It's Buckaroo Banzai. All right. Buckaroo Banzai, I would say... Ooh,
he's the most interesting man in the world. He can do anything. He is a martial artist.
He's either the highest street level or a low skilled fighter.
Low skilled fighter. Because he pilots the railgun ship. He knows how to just do everything. He can wield guns. He can go hand to hand combat. He's for real. Now, Nick,
I'm into it.
Also representing Buckaroo Banzai, we have our second and final wild card. We have John Big Booty, who is 6'1". He's an alien from Planet 10. His special abilities include poisonous spit and super strength. So I'm thinking
I think he's low superhuman. Yeah. He's low superhuman. Yeah.
Based on below Bullseye?
Seen. Yeah, I think so. I think if Bullseye had something to throw at him, John Big Booty goes down.
All right. Well, bringing it back down to street level, we got the big Michigan mauler brawler, Bobby Mercer from Four Brothers, 5'8", 185 pounds. His special abilities is that he's from Detroit. Super high street level. I think he's the highest street level. 100%. Yeah.
Big time.
Coming out of the wasteland, we got Furiosa. She is 5'9", 120 pounds-ish, from the Green Place. Special abilities, she has a metal arm. Not sure if that's a advantage or disadvantage, but she is a resourceful, survivalist, scrappy son of a bitch.
So It's hard because what we know about her from Fury Road, she's a very high skilled fighter. So we do
This is
know that
Furiosa.
about her. I know it's from Furiosa, but we've seen Fury Road, and we know that the character of Furiosa is a very high skilled fighter, even though we don't always see that in Furiosa. We just see her kind of as the scrappy wasteland type.
I have a spot for her, but I'm interested to see what you say.
I would put her at low skilled fighter because most of the time when she does scrap hand to hand, she comes out on top. So it's not just brawling; she's very resourceful. So I think that's part of the skills. I'd put her as a low skilled fighter from what we saw in Furiosa.
I was actually going to say in between Bobby Mercer and Jack T. Colton, but I'm okay with skilled fighter.
Yeah, no,
let's fill out that
brutal,
role.
especially her shooting abilities. Right, very skilled. As a sharp,
she was on the snipe, right? Yeah, the snipe was crazy.
Yeah, big time.
Okay, easy punching bag nom here. We got Yaya, aka Greek Grandma from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Definitely the weakest fighter. She's a punching bag.
Yeah. I think she loses to Sean.
Coming here with not any more likable or impressive. We have Leonard Parker, Bill Cosby from Leonard Part 6. He's a secret agent guy, has gadgets, but toe to toe, pound for pound. What do we think? I think technically he is a skilled. I think he's technically a skilled fighter.
Because he waves a glizzy around. I don't know, dude.
No, but Bobby Mercer would wipe the floor with this guy. So
yeah,
that's a good point. I'm thinking maybe Gansey Keisha territory. Maybe
okay.
Maybe even just bottom. Maybe even just bottom of that level.
I was thinking bottom. Yeah, I think Tommy Lee.
Yeah, Leonard hasn't proved anything. But someone who has proved something is our franchise man of the year, Indiana Jones, Last Crusade form. So he is a brawler. He has murdered people. It seems like he's street level from his fighting style, but based on his body count,
I think he's the highest skilled fighter here. I think he's the highest skilled fighter.
Really? Above short round?
In this bracket. Yeah.
The big Nazi.
The totality that what we've seen.
The big Nazi was whooping his ass. The only thing that got the big Nazi was the airplane propeller.
Well, that's part of the skill, knowing where the big airplane propeller is.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, representing Bullet, we have Butch Bullet Stein. He's 5'11", 160 pounds. He's from Brooklyn. His special abilities is that he doesn't care about life, and his weakness is heroin.
Yeah, I think he slots in just under Lenny. Between Lenny and Keisha on the street level. Because we do see him.
He is violent. He is violent.
We do see him brawl on the basketball courts there.
Yeah. Kind of Sam Quintish, kind of takes a beating, but he don't care. Representing Elektra, shocker, we have Elektra, 5'9", 130 pounds. She's from Greece. Martial arts, fighting style. Her special ability is that she can see the future, I think.
She becomes clairvoyant in Elektra, but I think she slots in between John Big Booty. Yeah, she's definitely superhuman. I think she slots in between John Big Booty and
Bullseye was clowning her in Daredevil, but it is Elektra version of Elektra who killed like 15 people in the beginning.
But what we saw from Bullseye murdered the shit out of her. That's all we know.
You know what? I would actually put Elektra above Bullseye, below Daredevil. Because she does best Kariki, she does headshot Typhoid, and she does murder. She has a higher kill count than Bullseye.
That we know
That's my
of.
personal opinion. That's my personal
Bullseye
opinion.
killed her.
He did kill Daredevil Elektra, but what about Elektra? Because we talked about Indiana Jones Last Crusade versus Raiders Indiana Jones.
All I know is what I've seen.
Well, she could see the future. She kind of has like a little bit like weird mythical abilities. I personally would lobby for above Bullseye, but if you feel super strongly, you are controlling the document, so I have no control.
I feel extremely confident in this.
Moving on to our next punching bag, we have 16-year-old Judy from BMX Bandits. Nicole Kidman, very tall. I think she's like 6 foot. So she's probably like 5'10" when she's 16.
I think the Greek Yaya beats the shit out of her.
What?
Dude,
Yeah.
Greek Yaya would absolutely beat the
Greek
shit
grandma.
out of her. You kidding
Judy.
me?
Yeah, Judy's actually the new bottom. She's the new bottom.
16-year-old girl. I don't feel good about it. But yeah,
Greek
she's
grandma would bust
definitely-
out the shoe and beat someone's ass with that.
beat that.
All
hell out of her.
right. Representing the Wizard of Oz, we have Flying Monkey. So Monkey, I think, is like 3'9", can fly. It took 2 of them to carry Dorothy off into space.
Yeah.
Kind of superhuman, but like
Superhuman in ability, but I mean, we never saw them inflict damage. So,
and you kind of need a swarm of them to be effective.
yeah.
So a single one, they're kind of short. They can fly. I guess they're got some strength to them. I would say below Furiosa, skilled fighter.
Yeah.
But then I'm imagining Bobby Mercer just like fight a flying monkey. I feel like he would beat the shit out of it with his rage.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I think he's actually a low street level.
I would
think
say
even
above.
if he came up against Leonard, it'd be tough. I think Yancey would take his 6-shooters to that thing. You know?
What the hell is that thing?
Pow, pow. You kind of give him the old Yosemite Sam, just like pow, 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 pow. You know? I think
But
Leonard would even
fist
take
to
him
fist?
out.
Fist to fist with those guys? No guns?
Yeah.
Or just high punching bag. Fuck this monkey.
Yeah, I think eye punching bag. Do you think
He could beat up
do you think
Arnold, but not Leonard.
Do you think Arnold might take him out?
Well, he is short, like a child, so maybe he would beat him.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, moving on.
Moving on, we have TikTok, who is a 4-foot robot from the land of Oz. Special abilities, he can rotate 360 degrees from his torso to his legs. His weakness is that he needs a wind-up every now and then.
That is tough. I don't think he deserves the skilled fighter. He's definitely not a punching bag, so he's definitely street level. Now,
Can Bullet beat up TikTok? Or vice
no,
versa?
I don't think so. I think TikTok right between Bullet and Lenny. Lenny's a fucked up individual. I think he could
Lenny will find a way
to take. Yeah.
So actually, there's like
After
a
enough
line drawn
Polaroids.
at TikTok. There's like a certain amount of crazy in those 3 guys' eyes to the left of TikTok versus the people on the right.
Yeah, I'd agree
The
with
TikTok divide.
that. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Crystal Skull.
Mutt.
We have Mutt Williams, Shia LaBeouf, 5'9", 158 pounds, scrappy little individual, definitely street level. Is he better than Yancey? Is he better than Sam Quint? Could he beat up Sam Quint in a fight? They both wear leather jackets.
No, I don't think so. I think he's a little
Could he
too
beat up Leonard?
green. I don't think so. I think he's a pretty low,
Low street level? The bottom street
Yeah.
level? Okay. I agree.
Yeah. He's fine, but he doesn't have that grit in him yet. You know, he's just a little too green.
Speaking of green, representing Disney Channel original movie Minutemen, we have Derek, who is in high school. He's, I guess, 17 maybe.
I think Derek might get his ass kicked
He's a punching
all
bag.
the way down the line.
He's a punching bag.
Yeah.
Arnold is a father and would beat him. He's above. No, he's above. Wait, Grandma is beating up Little Bear? I think Little Bear actually is he's too cunning and skilled of a hunter. It's his size, really. So I think he's fine there.
It really is also. Yeah.
Actually,
Then we have
Derek
Greek
is below
Grandma.
Little Bear.
Yeah, so I'm
It's
saying,
really-
is he above Greek
it's really
Grandma?
more the
I think
grandma-
Greek Grandma. I think Greek Grandma would slap the shit out of him.
Yeah, Derek's a little bit of a puss. He's only above Judy because he weighs more and he's 1 year older. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, representing Fatal Attraction, we have Alex Forrest. She is all kinds of crazy.
She is. However, in this movie, she's very punching bagged. We've never seen her really fight. We've seen her really take a beating from Michael
Her versus
Douglas.
Arnold I think Arnold just because of the size. So I think
it's a size problem. But I think she'd murder Little Bear. Like her psychopath.
Yeah, because she's smart. She's
tendencies.
Smart. Yeah,
she'd stomp out Little Bear. Yeah.
Okay, now we have representing Duel. We have Man in Cafe, aka Sandwich Guy. Now this is the street level of the street level for me. He is just your average. Just pick a fight with me in a bar. Let's go to town. Street level.
Do you think he'd take down Bullet?
Yeah, a lot of these guys want the smoke. So I just, what did I say for this guy? I just said this guy. Oh, I don't have dimensions like height, weight, age. I know nothing. The only thing I have is his origin is he's from the road. So who's more hardened and burly? A truck driver who lives his life on the road and eats sandwiches, or a heroin addict?
Yeah. I think he takes Bullet.
Okay, but below TikTok.
But below TikTok, don't fuck with TikTok.
Okay, all right. Well, representing It Follows, we have the Entity. This is an interesting one because we
have our first God level.
Really?
Absolutely. What do you mean? He can't be killed.
I think it's superhuman, if anything, because it does have limitations. You know, it's not like it can't teleport. It doesn't have like laser eyes. It just walks, but it appears that it can't be killed, which does make it seem God level ish. Yeah. I just don't think it has God level offensive abilities.
The can't be killed thing puts it at a if that thing's not God level, I don't know.
We don't know if it can't be killed. Everything we've seen on screen has not worked.
I mean, we're pretty sure this thing cannot be killed. It's a demonic curse. It's beyond superhuman. It is supernatural.
All right, we could throw it in God level, and then it might end up being the best fighter.
I mean, I don't see anything on this list that can kill the It Follows entity.
All right, well, moving down to Killer Clowns from Outer Space, we have Shorty. He's a little 4'10" clown that can punch heads off with his fists.
To be fair, we don't know if these things can die either. Definitely super.
They can because you poke them in the nose and they die.
Oh, that's right. So he's pretty low on the superhuman. No, he's kind of John Big Booty-ish. Like Electra should easily be able to stab him, but he's better than Big Booty. Yeah. Okay.
Hashtag better than Big Booty. Okay. Representing the Evil Dead series, we have Ash Williams, a.k.a. Sam Axe. He's got a chainsaw for an arm. His weakness is that he's part Deadite.
I think he's definitely skilled, if not very low superhuman. I think he takes Big Booty, no?
Not superhuman. I'd say skilled. I'm trying to figure him versus Furiosa.
I think he takes Furiosa. I mean, he kills Big Booty. I personally think Ash versus a Killer Clown is a really fun matchup. He's angry with attachments. So
yeah.
I mean, he's definitely above street level. I'll put him lowest skilled fighter. That's okay. Fine. That's fine to me.
Okay. Representing Dial of Destiny, we have Hawk, aka the Big Brute from the 5th Indiana Jones movie, 7'2", 350 pounds from Alabama. Special abilities.
Big skilled fighter.
Massive.
I think he goes up with our Big Brute from the other Indiana Jones movies.
I would put him above Big Nazi. Below Short Round.
But I think Short Round still takes him.
Okay. For planes, trains, and automobiles, we have the guy who grabbed Neil by the sack. This brings me Sandwich Guy vibes.
It brings me Sandwich Guy vibes, but he also brings me maybe punching bag vibes. He might just be just above Arnold. Does this guy kill a flying monkey? He might. You're right. You're right. He might take. He might take Bullet
from St. Louis.
He might take Bullet. Yeah,
I would put him below Keisha, above Yancey. I think actually.
I'm comfortable with that. Yeah. I think that's good. I think this guy takes eats Yancey's lunch for sure.
All right, Nick. Well, rounding it out with a very interesting one from 1997's Jack Frost, we have Jack Frost, who is 7 feet tall. He's a snowman. Special abilities is that he can rapidly change the state of his matter from ice to water. His weakness is heat and apparently antifreeze.
God level.
Above the entity or below?
Below.
Jack Frost is a god.
I mean, is he not? The way they describe him in the movie is that, like, you can't destroy matter. He either becomes steam, water. He just, like, you can't destroy water molecules, right? You could just change their state. So he's unkillable.
You think you kill him, but then there's that bubbling scene and right before the credits.
He's living in a bottle of antifreeze. Like, the best you could do is trap him. Same with the It Follows demon entity. That's the best you can do. He's unkillable. And he also has very murderous intentions. And his kill count is high and will only get higher.
I think it makes sense. I'm not happy about it. I would love for Chewbacca to be the best fighter, but I think just based on his limitations
Chewbacca
as a Wookiee,
had sex with Hugh Jack, I think the entity kills it. I think the entity kills Chewie. If Chewie banged Hugh Jack,
would the entity kill
the entity
Jack Frost? Would Jack Frost kill the entity?
This is why they are the top of the brackets. I think that is the best matchup.
Hold on.
Those are the only two things that can go at each other.
What if Shannon Elizabeth was in that chain of the It Follows chain and Jack Frost had sex with her in the bathtub?
Mm-hmm.
The entity comes after Jack Frost. Who's coming out on top?
I think they are in a eternity-long battle. That might be the only way to get rid of the entity is to bang a supernatural being that cannot be killed. And then these two things are after each other for the rest of their lives.
I'm going to put Jack Frost above the entity. He has no rules binding him.
There's no rules. Yeah. He honestly can kill whoever he wants. Yeah. And he has dope one-liners.
Yeah. Okay. I feel good about this. All right, Nick.
Too.
The last movie of the year we watched was Jack Frost, and the best fighter of Jack Frost was Jack Frost. And guess what? The best fighter of 2024 for Just Play It is Jack Frost. That 7-foot matter-changing snowman. Who's a psycho?
Insane.
My cup is run dry. The pregame is over. The fun is just beginning. And we're going to settle all of this, the biggest piece of shit bracket, the fighter tournament, revealing the awards in the final episode of 2024, the wrap party, official wrap party for Just Play a Podcast. We're going to reveal our franchise of the year and all the awards to really just put a bow on this year. Thank you guys, everybody, for listening. We appreciate you pre-gaming with us, and you got to tune in for the wrap party. And in the meantime, we're heading gone. We appreciate you listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time for the wrap party.